Classy on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We'll get into your blues today. We also have Chris Zimmerman on at 4:30 talking about a bid that the St. Louis did not get, but
making some noise.
Making
Anthony.
some noise potentially.
Some noise, baby.
We'll also talk about the Cardinals. Get into some topics there.
You signed someone?
Can't read those.
In fact, the exact opposite.
You're a funny guy.
In fact, the exact opposite, Carey.
Hang on, guys. By the way, Anthony, I just blindly, I don't even know. You can check because you're way better at this than me. Check up on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So check that out. But I blindly put $100 on Richie Palacios to win AL MVP next year. I was on my way to Raleigh, North Carolina, and saw that the Cardinals had made a trade. And I was like, yeah, awesome, right? We're ready for takeoff.
Got a pitcher.
Cardinals made a trade. Pitcher, I'm kind of trying to figure it out. Then I go, wait. We made a trade with the friggin' Rays? I was like, son of a... There goes another MVP.
Yeah, we had a
Mr.
lot of discussion
October
about that on Friday.
2.0 headed to Tampa.
Yep.
Jamie, you know my rule. Whenever Tampa calls and they ask for a certain player,
Hang up.
hang up and promote that player.
Dude, it ran through my head. And look at Richie Palacios last year, the way he finished the year.
He's gonna be a starter.
There's something there. There's something
He's
there,
gonna start in the left field, or he's gonna have a good start to the season, and then he's gonna be AL Player of the Month. He's done this 3 times already.
Sorry to derail it, Anthony. I just I couldn't help myself. I wasn't here for that momentous occasion to talk about the next AL MVP, so I thought we'd do it today.
Yeah, he'll hit 9th at the start of the year and then wind up being their cleanup hitter at some point.
Work his way up.
Yep. The Blues get it done over the weekend in Carolina. 2-1 shootout victory over the Hurricanes. Outstanding defensive performance again. Excellent game by Jordan Binnington, who comes up with 29 saves. This Blues team is starting to find its groove, even if it's still dealing with consistency problems, and they are. This team has racked up wins against Carolina and Vegas and who else? Florida, Vancouver.
I mean, some good wins under their belt, man.
At Tampa, absolutely. Are they starting to prove doubters wrong?
I think so, a little bit. Like, look, it's still not a situation where you're, as I always like to say, you're not ordering the rings just yet, or even in the foreseeable future, but you're making steps in the right direction. The one thing that I think Blues fans were more frustrated about than anything else was playing in games and losing games where you weren't competitive. And I think that's, that resonates with Blues fans or any St. Louis sports fan, is they want guys who work hard, who compete. I think the fans realize that you're not going to win all the games that you play, but at least make it worth my dollar to be either watching you on the television, listening to you on the radio, or being there in person. Like, make it worth my while. And I think that's what the Blues have been doing lately, because if you look at the losses to the Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins, they're losses. You got 0 points out of it. But you competed hard, and you were in both of those games. You probably should have had a better fate with the Colorado game, at least gotten a point out of that. But people weren't ticked off. They were upset because you lost a couple of games in a row, but it wasn't like, this team, here we go again. It wasn't like that. And then the team comes back, and they have a really tough game against a Vancouver Canucks team that was just rolling. They get that win, close game. And then they go on the road in Carolina. That's a really good team, by the way, guys. I mean, I knew it to begin with, and I'd seen them up close and personal a few times, but they play fast. They're aggressive. That's a good team, and you won. It took a shootout to get there, but you won.
Counts.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Braden Shen get that goal. He's been snake-bitten, man. He hasn't had a point in a long time. Never mind a goal, a point. And a couple things about that game. Braden Shen did a fantastic job of playing against the Sebastian Aho line. So Rod Brendamore very knowingly and purposely kept the Aho line away from Robert Thomas. Why is that? Because Robert Thomas has done a great job of shutting down the opposition here recently and producing points. So the best way to avoid that when you have last change at home is you get your best checker out there, which is Jordan Staal, who did a great job against the Robert Thomas line. So it's a little bit of a chess match there. But Rod Brendamore keeping those guys away, which means somebody else had to step up and play against the other team's top line, and it was the Shen line, and they did a fantastic job. So when I saw Shenner get the tap on the shoulder, shooter number 5 to come in, I was like, oh, man, this would be great for him to score. It doesn't count on his stat sheet, but maybe it pops the bubble, gets him going again. Comes in, gets the game winner. You're hoping now that's a feel-good moment, starts to feel better, not gripping the stick quite as much, but, good effort, great win.
Yeah, it certainly was. And this team, I think that when this team's playing well, forget about. I realize that we need to talk about the scoring, the depth of scoring, the power play, and all that. But when this team has looked right, it has played well defensively. 2-1 victory over Carolina, 2-1 victory over Vancouver. Even the loss to Colorado, not all losses are created equal. Not all wins are created equal. They lost 2-1. Dallas held them in check 2-1. I'd rather see that. Florida, they held them to 1 goal in a 4-1 victory. When they play well defensively, they give themselves a shot. And since that 4-2 victory over Ottawa on December 14th, they have largely played well defensively. And they have won 7 games over that stretch with only 3 losses. No losing streak, 1 winning streak. If they play well defensively, I think things start to fall into place.
Defensively and goaltending. Jordan Binnington.
Really good.
Oh, my gosh.
Goal suppression is what I'm talking
Joel
about.
Holfer's strung together some really good games here recently. And there was even the underbelly, a little bit of, a goaltender controversy, to which I just shook my head at from the very start. But, again, it's a positive thing in a way because you've got 2 goalies in that are battling, competing to be, getting more games. But your team's winning. Your team benefits from 2 goalies playing well. And Jordan Binnington was fantastic. The last 2 games, Jordan Binnington was a rock star. And I'm getting to know him more and more, which is difficult when you're on the outside. No matter how much you're around the team, it's difficult to get to know guys, especially at the goaltender position. Those guys can be a little bit, reserved or to themselves and whatnot. But getting to know Jordan Binnington a little more this year and talking to him just about various things and just watching him kind of evolve into an even better goalie than he has been, just from a mental standpoint, it's been awesome, man. He's done a fantastic job. He's a hell of a goaltender. And him partnered with Joel Hofer is a great start for your team. To your point, Anthony, defensively. If your goalie's good, your defense looks better.
It definitely helps. And I'm looking at the team. Anthony, you hit it up. 10 games, 7-3 in those games since the firing of Berube. Are we starting to see, I know you don't want to start, planning and preparing for a.
Are you planning a parade?
Carey,
it's a hell of a parade.
Yeah, I want to see it and be a part of it again. Yeah,
I don't remember how much.
I was there, I think.
10 games in since the dismissal of Berube and Bannister being here. You had the great comeback against the Blackhawks, which I thought was the best game of the year to that point, obviously. And then you go and beat a Canucks team that we talked about it before the game. Like, it's going to be a challenge because of how great this team is. And then you go on the road to Carolina. Those are some really good wins to have under your belt in 10 games. Can we expect this? Are we at the point where you can say, okay, this is who they are now, and this is what should continue for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should expect this, and I think the players should expect this.
Yeah.
You're at the point now where you've proven that you can play together as a team. You've proven that you can compete for 60 minutes. Is it always going to be picture perfect every game? No, of course it isn't. You're not going to win every game, and you're not always going to look great, but you can always compete. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. If you're a Blues fan, you're looking at it going, you know what? When I'm watching my team play, at least I'm proud to watch them play.
That's all you can ask for as a coach, as a teammate. Like if I have to ask guys to try hard or work hard, we're in a bad place. And if I'm watching a team that is not giving effort, like I love the Steelers. I wanted to grab George Pickens a couple of times and grab him. Deontay Johnson, what the hell are you all doing? That's not Steeler football.
Yeah.
And so when you see that, it drives you crazy. And to the Blues, when you see guys, the way that they were playing earlier this season, it makes you want to grab people and say, what the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you doing your job? And so now, watching it, they're doing their job. And guess what happens when you do your job? You win games. Isn't that amazing how that works? It's the craziest thing in the world, guys.
Falls into place, doesn't it?
Wow. We just started winning games. No, you started doing your damn job consistently, and the wins started happening. So, yeah.
Blues off tonight, and don't forget that we have the national championship game between Washington and Michigan. We'll break that down a lot throughout the course of the show today. Pregame's at 5:30, so we're off a little bit earlier tonight. The national championship. Yeah, Jamie just found that out.
What? Speaking of ordering the ring.
Yeah. Pregame, 5:30, right here on 101 ESPN. We've got the game for you, too. But the Blues and Panthers, they square off tomorrow. Pregame starting at 6 right here on 101 ESPN. Katie Wu of The Athletic reports that the Cardinals are set to announce the hiring of Kyle Bloom to the front office in an advisory role. Sources tell The Athletic the Cardinals had been linked to the former Red Sox executive dating back to the beginning of the offseason. So we heard Kyle Bloom could be part of the Cardinals front office in some capacity. That is now official. Kyle Bloom, for just a quick summary on him, he was the Rays assistant director, kind of worked his way up there, and then became the GM of the Red Sox in 2019. COVID year. Then he had to basically sell off some pieces, and things didn't go great. But the Red Sox still were 267, 262 during his time as chief baseball officer. So somebody that is high on the analytics. So Carey, you'll love that.
No,
somebody that is often working with a limited budget dating back to Tampa.
Carey's excited,
which might also
thrilled.
Have to play in to his next role here in St. Louis. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Our biggest takeaways from Week 18 in the NFL. The playoffs are now set. Carey's happy. Jamie's not. We'll get into it here on 101 ESPN.
Happy New Year from Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Londoff Chevrolet right now, they're kicking off the new year with their big rollout sales event. Check out some of these savings. Up to $4,500 off select 2024 Chevy Equinoxes. Up to $6,000 off select 2024 Chevy Blazers. Up to $10,000. That's right, $10,000 off select 2024 Chevy Silverados. Are you kidding me? And Johnny Londoff Chevrolet has over 25 in stock of the #1 selling small SUV in the U.S., the all-new 2024 Chevy Trax. It's really spacious interior, impressive features on this vehicle, and good looks, along with being super affordable. And that's what you get at Londoff Chevrolet. You get quality vehicles that are affordable, and you get incredible customer service every single time you go there. So please visit either location, the original one in Florissant, Missouri, or the Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters. Please walk in, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you. They absolutely love hearing that. And if you can't get there in person to check out all these deals, get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Playoff field is set in the NFL, and Carey Steelers made it.
How about that?
They beat the backups for the Ravens and then had to have
You didn't have to say that.
a couple of things fall into place.
Ravens twice.
You beat the backups for the
what
Ravens.
About the first time we beat them?
First one was
Their starters were there then, huh?
disastrous.
Here we go.
So you got to be fired up. You're going to Buffalo now, but who cares? You're in the playoffs. You're excited.
Yeah, you can't win it unless you're in it. So we are in it. We have an opportunity in Pittsburgh to go to Buffalo. I think looking at this matchup, Buffalo is obviously the better team. They have their starting quarterback. We're on our third. And the defensive player, your potential defensive player of the year in TJ Watt may not be available, which is Pittsburgh has dealt with so many injuries this year. Inside linebacker being a position that they have searched high and low. For if I was 10 years younger, they might have called me. I don't know. They have been searching for inside linebackers all year. Minkah Fitzpatrick being injured often. And so, you have they've dealt with a lot. Buffalo is the better team. With all that said, I'm obviously going to pick Pittsburgh.
To win outright?
Oh, yeah. Why not? I mean, because Buffalo is hit or miss. Right? They were literally one game away from not even being in the playoffs. Had a couple of other things going, wrong prior to this game. So I think Buffalo is a good team, like I said, but I think Pittsburgh, I'm going to give them a chance against anyone. And, I like this matchup better than going to Kansas City, better than going to anywhere else that they could have, other than maybe Houston, but hell, even Houston.
So let's talk about that game. So the Houston Texans won the AFC South. Largely because Jackson, credit Houston. Nobody had them winning that division. Marsh had mentioned it last week. I said that the Texans are going to be a lot better than people think. That roster's a lot better than people think.
Yeah.
If they get the quarterback and the head coach right, things could fall into place. Again, I didn't see them winning the AFC South, though. I just thought they'd be marginally better, and they wouldn't be the number 1 or, hell, even 1 through 5 pick when it came to Table's draft. So credit Houston for getting it done. But, boy, Indianapolis, tough play. Gardner Minshew, it's a tough play for the running back. He's got to catch it, but that could have been a better ball, too. The one that essentially sealed the Colts' fate.
So we had a rule in as it pertains to pass catching or pass dropping. If it touches your hand, it's a drop.
Sure.
And so, he was turned around. I don't know if he got turned around. I don't know if he should have been turned in the direction that he was, or should he have been turned the other way. It looked like it's a flat route, so you normally turn outside. It's a awkward throw in an awkward position to try to catch the football, but you have to catch the football. And that young man, to his credit, he said what most people wouldn't say. I feel terrible, and I feel like I didn't take care of business. And you don't. I felt him wholeheartedly. It's a mistake. Now, my question would be: there's a young man that plays the same position for the Indianapolis Colts. Got paid a lot of money. Sat out this year because they weren't going to pay him. Why in the hell ain't you throwing the ball to your best guys? Who are we trying to fool here?
Right.
I can tell you, hey, he's getting the football. You got to figure out a way to stop him. I want my best guys to be involved in those plays. I think the kid's name is Goodson.
Yeah.
No knock on him, but Jonathan Taylor is the best running back on that team.
He started to take over that game, too, in the second half.
Yeah, he had 100-plus yards and 150, 180 yards rushing and a touchdown. You give him the football because that's why you paid him. You don't. Again, no offense to the young man. That's not his fault. You shouldn't be put in that position. You should have caught the damn ball, but you shouldn't have been put in that position. Jonathan Taylor should have been the one you're throwing that pass to or handing it off to on a 4th and 1 play call.
6 receptions for 34 yards on the see for Goodson, and he's the guy that you're throwing the ball to with the season on the line.
Not.
What are you doing?
They overthought it.
What are you doing?
They overthought it.
You don't take... Unless he was almost dying, and I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor. Hey, man, one play. I need you for this. I don't care if you're a decoy and I got to throw the ball to Michael Pittman and you threw it to Ali Cox, throw him another jump ball pass, whatever you do, throw it to people that play a lot and are part of the game plan consistently. Now, again, with all that said, should have been a better ball, should have been a catch, could have been a first down, could have been a really big play, but when it doesn't work out, hindsight being 2020, you give the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
No doubt.
And get the hell out the way.
So there was one underlying storyline that I thought emerged yesterday, but the big one is that the Jacksonville Jaguars absolutely choked. Now, we called it. I think we all said the Titans were going to pull off the upset last week because you could sense that Jacksonville was running out of steam. They had lost, 3 or 4 in a row before they won last week with C.J. Beathard against obviously Carolina, who's awful. They didn't score a point yesterday. But the Jaguars choked away the AFC South.
They did.
They blew at least one good season under Trevor Lawrence, who did not play well. You talk about the last throw. At least Gardner Minshew hit Goodson in the hands.
Yeah.
The last throw by Trevor Lawrence was atrocious. I mean, winged it over I think it was Evan Ingram, the tight end.
Yeah, he did.
Ingram had a bad fumble.
Yeah.
They got stopped on the goal line once in Tennessee yesterday. But it shouldn't come down to having to win against the Titans to secure the AFC South.
It shouldn't.
It's terrible.
And the Titans were a 5-win team going into that game. Mm-hmm. Now it shouldn't be close. Right? Those two teams, Jaguars were the elite team, should have been going into the season, were the elite team going into that season. And then you notice this Houston Texans team they can go down to Jacksonville and win a game. And then you start to see just Jacksonville here and there falling apart. I thought they had everything that they needed. They got a good running back. They got great receivers, great tight end. Defensively, they do a really good job. But for whatever reason, just the inability to get over that hump, which I think we talked about it on the Gridiron guys. They were not a team that I trusted pretty much all season. I don't know that Trevor Lawrence is that elite quarterback yet, or if he will get to that point, because it doesn't feel that way to me. When I watch him, it doesn't feel what they say about Lamar Jackson. He's not quarterbacky. It doesn't feel elite when I'm watching Trevor Lawrence. He just doesn't feel elite just yet.
He's not taking over games.
Yeah.
Is there any AFC team outside of the Ravens that you do have trust for?
Oh, man.
No.
I don't have any trust.
You can pick. It's like the NFC too. You can find weaknesses
in everything.
Significant weaknesses in every team 2 through 7 in each conference.
I would argue that the 49ers have weaknesses too.
Oh, yeah.
It's fair, but at least they're the most complete team in the NFC.
Yeah.
And then from 2 to 7, you can find legit weaknesses in every single team.
In the AFC, I don't know, man. Like, it's a weird year. Houston is going to beat Cleveland, I think.
I actually think so too. Now, last week we talked about Cleveland winning a game
in Jacksonville.
I thought it was going to be in Jacksonville. Yeah. I like Houston.
I like Houston as well, and so. It sounds crazy to think that obviously Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are the next team, but they've had so many issues all season long with the drops and the inability to take care of the football. It hasn't been great. Miami, I don't know what the hell I told you last week, Mike McDaniels, it's fun and games when F you, Dan. No. How about you win a game, sir? All the fun goes out the window, man. Hard knocks. Oh, he's cool. If you don't win, you ain't cool. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So he's got to figure out a way to win a game because they have taken some steps back. Mm-hmm. I still don't trust Buffalo. I obviously don't trust Pittsburgh because what the hell? We got Mason Rudolph starting. The Houston Texans may be the most consistent team based on the young quarterback and the type of game that they play.
Well, that was the other. I said there was one underlying storyline yesterday. I thought that it was, and over the weekends, I should say, I thought it was the play of young quarterbacks.
Yes.
C.J. Stroud stepped up in Indy. If they would have lost that game, it wouldn't have been his fault. He played fantastically.
He's a really good quarterback.
And then yesterday, I know that he's not as young as C.J. Stroud, but he's young and inexperienced, and he's had a roller coaster year. But Jordan Love played very well yesterday against Chicago, too. With everything on the line, those two guys stepped up. With everything on the line, Tua threw a pick to seal the game last night. And Tyreek Hill had some drops. We can talk about the issues that Miami had. Special teams gave up the punt return touchdown. That swung the entire momentum of that game. But there was QBs that stepped up yesterday, and then there was quarterbacks that fell well short. And two of the guys that did not step up, one's at home now in Trevor Lawrence, and the other one's going to have to go to frigid Arrowhead on Saturday night as opposed to hosting a game.
How does that look?
Not great.
I love the matchup because I don't know who's going to catch a pass for Kansas City. I honestly do not. And I can tell you this with 100% certainty. If you had problems catching passes in week 12 or week 6 or week 4 or 8, 10, whatever it is, you are definitely going to have problems catching balls in the playoff because the intensity, what it means, we all feel that. It's a different level. It's a different beast once you get to the playoffs. It's just, I don't know what it is, but we all understand that it's different. And so if you had issues catching passes then, good luck.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long game for
The
for
playoff matchups are awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they're good.
I mean, there's a few where like the Texans and the Browns, whatever. But like
even that though.
That's a good one,
it'll
though.
be interesting. But
Yeah.
it's not Dallas, Green Bay, Chiefs, Dolphins.
You
You
got
have
Stafford going back to
going back to
Detroit.
Detroit.
I think that's awesome.
All of a sudden, the Eagles. I like Tampa in that game. I think Tampa wins.
Have you seen Jalen Hurts' finger?
I did.
Philadelphia.
It's going the wrong way. It's not great.
So is their
Philadelphia
team.
did not look good here.
True.
I mean, they have completely collapsed. But you're right, Marsh. I like every single matchup. And normally that first game on Wild Card Weekend is the one you can kind of watch, but you throw it out.
Like
It's always like the Raiders with a backup quarterback versus some AFC South team.
Yeah.
This one with Joe Flacco and the Browns playing as well. They have obviously C.J. Stroud and the Texans. I'm definitely interested in that one. All right, national championship tonight. You got Washington and Michigan. It's a complete clash it's a battle of strength on strength. But what wins out in the end? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, it's Carey, and if you were one of the men that were worried or panicking about going on long trips over the holidays, maybe not taking that cross-country trip or that cross-country road trip with your family because you knew you were going to have to go use the restroom often, and when you got there, you would not be able to go, well, you could be a man that's suffering from BPH, which is benign prostatic hyperplasia, also known as an enlarged prostate, and I understand getting up and being able to go or not being able to go can be frustrating, but my friends at Mint STL have the solution. Dr. Akinwande has the solution, and that solution is called prostate artery embolization, or PAE. It's a groundbreaking, minimally invasive procedure that treats BPH. This procedure will literally get you going again. The Midwest Institute for Non-Surgical Therapy has that solution. Over a 6-month period after this procedure, you could see the prostate shrink within 24 to 48 hours. Reach out to them now. Reach out to them today to schedule your appointment at MINTSTL.com. That's MINTLSTL.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues won over the weekend, defeating the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1, a shootout win. The Blues will be back in action taking on the Florida Panthers tomorrow with the pregame starting at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals have named Chaim Bloom as an advisor to the president of baseball operations. Bloom most recently served as chief baseball officer for the Boston Red Sox from 2019 through 2023. The NFL playoffs are set. We just talked about that. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. And tonight we have the national championship game, Michigan taking on Washington with the pregame starting at 5:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Tonight's the national championship between Washington and Michigan. I don't know about you guys, but I am fired up for tonight's game. And I think one of the reasons why I'm fired up for it is that you've got NFL talent on both sides. You don't know what's going to happen with Jim Harbaugh, and Michael Penix Jr. has just had a special season. It's going to be interesting to see where he falls in the NFL draft.
Yep.
But I think the number one reason I'm looking forward to tonight's game is that you have a complete strength-on-strength matchup. Michigan's defense versus Washington's offense. Yeah. And as soon as you say Washington hasn't seen a defense like the one it's going to face in Michigan tonight, you can flip it and say that Michigan has not faced an offense like Washington's and what Washington is going to bring tonight. Both are true.
Right.
So the question is, which style wins out in the end? Do you see Michael Penix Jr. in this offense continue to shine? Or does Michigan, with its defense and its ball control, time of possession offense, wind up winning this thing for the Wolverines?
Washington is a big play offense, right? And what they like to take chunks. They like to go throw the ball downfield. Penix has a great arm, big arm. You got great receivers that go catch balls, go high point the football, and they make plays. And so if you're a Michigan defense, you're aware of that. It's not a difficult task, but you just have to be locked in the entire game. And you know that play action pass is going to come. Eventually that shot is going to come. But if you take care of your business, I don't think Michigan will give up those chunk plays. And the thing about a great offense, eventually they're going to get it, right? But what do you limit them to after that? If you can get the guy on the ground, which preferably you do, and he doesn't take an 80-yard catch for a touchdown, you can get him down, tackle him, and now force them to play on a shorter field, which I think is harder for any offense. Once you get in the red zone, you see offenses tend to struggle because it limits what you can do offensively in the playbook. Now you hold them to field goals. If Michigan can hold them to field goals, not allow too many big plays over their head, run the ball offensively successfully, I think Michigan wins this game. And I don't think I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I know last week we talked about the under being, 55?
55.5.
55.5. I still think it's going to be under that because Michigan has that type of offense, that type of game, that type of mindset and philosophy. And so limit the big plays from Washington. You're going to give up some. Not too many, hopefully. Get the guy on the ground, force kicks, and then offensively take care of the football, run the ball effectively, and do what you do and what you've been doing all season long.
I think this game winds up being in the 20s, and that's it.
27-24.
I could see 27-24 either way, quite frankly, which is why I would lean toward Washington. But the point spread has actually moved. It has gone.
Dropped to 3.5 now, right?
It's up to 5.
Is it 5? I thought I had
went the other way.
ESPN, it has it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is 5. Yeah.
It opened at 4, and it has climbed up to 5. It's still not a key number.
Yeah.
So key numbers, obviously 3, 6 now with overtime and, the way that teams go for 2 a lot. 3, 6, 7, obviously key numbers, 10, key number. So unless it gets up to 6, which I highly doubt it will, it doesn't really matter if it bounces too much between 4 and 5. But it is interesting that a lot of people are lined up with Washington, and with points, and the odds makers continue to move it up to 5. That usually an indication that sharps are on Michigan. But the other thing that I think is interesting here too is that hopefully Dylan Johnson's going to play. He's expected to play.
That's a key component for that Washington team.
When Washington beat Oregon in the Pac-12 title game, we all thought, or at least I did, that Oregon would be the physical team. They'd be the one to take it to Washington. And Washington opened up in their very first drive and ran it right down Oregon's throats. And then it started to open up some of the other big plays.
Right.
I don't think Washington is incapable of running the football tonight. They got a big offensive line. They've done a great job of protecting Penix. Obviously, that Michigan front four has been dynamic. But I think they can run the ball to take some of the pressure off of the passing game and stay balanced.
Well, here's the issue. We talked about Dylan Johnson. He got injured in that Texas game, right? He had been dealing with a foot injury. And one thing about being a running back and having a foot injury, that ankle injury is different. Like ankles, they hurt, right? It hurts to cut and plant. When you have a foot injury, it feels like everything hurts. And so I don't know what exactly the issue is. It looked to me when he got taken off the field at the end of that Texas game, like he's no way he's playing again.
Yeah.
There's no way. It looked like it's probably maybe something where it's like a hairline fracture or it's almost broken, but it feels like it hurts like hell and you're just pushing through it. The question for me would be, is it worth it for him personally going forward? How much damage can you do? We know it's the biggest game of your career. Do you have aspirations of playing in the NFL? Will this impact that? It's a lot of things that come into question. And so if he's not playing or not playing up to his ability, which with a foot injury, I wouldn't expect him to. Now, he's going we talked about the good stuff you get before games, Anthony. You're going to get a little bit of that.
A little bit of help.
Yeah, be good to go. But about 1 a.m., that foot's going to feel like it's about 3 times the size of it.
Hey, 1 a.m., the game's over.
It is.
Game's over, Carey.
Yes.
Jeez, I almost called you Jame.
Jame.
Unbelievable.
He's the other guy.
Yeah. Unreal.
But, again, if he's not able to play, the next ball carrier that you have on that roster has 194 yards, 182 yards. Those guys haven't had as much success, haven't had as many opportunities. He's your bell cow. So if he's unable to play, it does change Washington's offense a lot.
We are going to do our picks a little bit later on. We've got the pregame starting at 5:30 for Washington and Michigan in that national championship game, and we've got the game for you at 6:30. So we'll do our picks maybe about 5 o'clock. Speaking of which, though, we're going to bring back Bet the Board. So we've got 4 of us now, Carey, Jamie, me, Marsh, and we used to do this when BT was a part of the show. Instead of going week to week, though, we're going to go for an entire month of picks, and we're going to start it today. We're going to have the same number of picks, all of us. You have an opportunity to draft one of us. You'll be attached to our picks for the month, and then you'll have an opportunity to win an ESPN prize pack. If you finish last, though, if the host finishes last, there will be a punishment. So we're gonna do that. So if you would like to be the first contestant to draft one of us for Bet the Board for the rest of the month, obviously a little shorter, but the rest of the month of January, just text in Bet the Board to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646, and you'll have an opportunity to draft one of us for the month of January, and we'll do this each hour until we have a complete team.
Okay.
So the Cardinals, not making moves.
Making moves?
It sounds like they're not going to make moves.
Yeah.
At least not significant ones. We'll tell you the latest next on 101 ESPN. Throughout the month of January, you got to head down to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They've got great deals right now, including on a 2023 Nissan Rogue, $2,000 in savings. They've got 0% APR available for 36 months. They got 1.9% for 60 months. Or if you want to go up to 72 months of financing, 2.9% right now APR for 72 months on a Nissan Rogue. If a Nissan Rogue isn't what you're looking for maybe a Pathfinder, same deals available on Pathfinders. Great deals, great offers at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. You can start right there at AutoCentersNissan.com. Check out the wide selection of vehicles that they have. In fact, they have over 700 cars and trucks, SUVs, everything you're looking for right there in one location out in Herculaneum. You don't have to drive around at different spots. Well, we don't have this car. That's actually at our south location. No, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they've got one spot. Over 700 vehicles, new and pre-owned vehicles. So look at Pathfinders, look at Rogues, look at Altimas. They've got them all. Or if you're looking at different makes and models, again, they've got it. Auto Centers Nissan and AutoCentersNissan.com. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. Yeah, you're Carey.
Who am I?
You're Carey.
I don't know if you know this, Jamie, but every time you're not here,
Yeah.
he looks at me and calls me Jame.
I go, Jame.
Hey, you're welcome. Okay?
I could be called worse, right?
You're the handsome devil then, baby, right? You know. There is a slight difference, though, between us, Anthony.
Not much.
Carey's beard is a little longer than mine.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay.
And he has more hair on the top of the head than I do.
Other than that, that's
like
it.
It's essentially the same thing.
Twins, some people say.
Good looking dudes. Yep. Jamie, Carey. Got it. I'll get it at some point. You would think with all the amount of different co-hosts I've had on my, at my tenure here at 101 ESPN, I'd be able to
Should keep it straight.
Keep it straight, but apparently not.
It's funny.
John Denton tweeted out in the latest edition of the Cardinals Beat newsletter, Cardinals president Bill DeWitt III shed some light on the parameters that will dictate whether his club adds more pitching to pieces to their rotation before the start of spring training. May sound good, but in that piece, Bill DeWitt III told MLB.com recently that because of various financial uncertainties, the club isn't likely to make any more moves this offseason that would significantly increase payroll. Barring a trade where the Cards send out roughly the same amount of money that they're taking back, the club's roster is close to being set for when pitchers and catchers report to spring training on February 12th. Yes, the Cardinals acted aggressively early in free agency by signing proven veteran pitchers, but it would appear that they will not be increasing payroll to a significant level. Again, this is all from John Denton at John Denton 555.
So what the hell's Kyle Bloom going to do then? I mean, he likes to spend money.
Well, the good news is
he's used to that Red Sox money.
He's used to that. Hey, he started with Tampa, so he's used to that Rays money.
That's a good point.
And he got to Boston,
Maybe
he started
that's what they're
shedding
doing.
salaries. So he actually fits in quite well.
Anthony, I don't like your attitude right now.
I'm just saying, yeah.
I did have a question because, correct me if I'm wrong, what is Kyle Bloom's, what is his official title?
He's going to be, I believe,
Assistant to the...
he's going to be
President
a
of Baseball
advisor.
So you have an
advisor to the president of baseball operations.
And then Yachty was hired as the special assistant to the president of baseball operations.
Yeah.
How much help do we need?
I think if you want to bring in somebody, you just make a new title.
Okay, I'm just wondering. I just want to know what
the Cardinals have to listen, Carey. The Cardinals have no shortage of titles that they can throw out there if they want to bring somebody in.
All right. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what exactly the roles are and what the expectation is, because if you're not going to spend money, if you're done, settled, and you're going into spring training with this roster, you're not going to go and get anyone else in the pitching rotation or in the bullpen or anywhere else position players. What are we looking forward to, or what can we expect to see, going into 2024?
Yeah, so one way to look at a couple of different things is the way I feel about it, Anthony, is, we always talk about increasing payroll. But we also have talked about the Cardinals increasing payroll overall, not just the players. We talked about adding, the pitching lab and maybe investing into an extra coach or this. They're finally doing that. Yachty, he's not coming on for free, and Yachty won't have any real say as far as the president stuff. He's not going to be on the business side of this. Yachty's going to be a consultant for Ali Marmol and his staff in dealing with pitchers, catchers, players, that kind of thing. I don't see John Mozeliak inviting Yachty in for a meeting on how they're going to increase ticket sales.
Correct.
So that being said,
win games.
Okay. That's it. And Kyle Bloom, you're bringing in another guy who he's been in an organization in Tampa that made it work without the money. So maybe they're looking at it from that standpoint too, is, hey, we've only budgeted ourselves. Let me word this properly. We, the Cardinals, have only budgeted ourselves a certain number. How do we get the most out of what we have? Maybe Kyle Bloom is able to help with that, because in Tampa, that's what they had to do.
Right.
They had to squeeze the orange to get all the juice they could out of those players in order to be successful. So maybe they're doing this by adding these types of people, because I don't think their salaries impact what they'd pay for a baseball player. I don't think Yachty and Kyle Bloom are going to be enough to be like, well, there's a starting pitcher we could have had.
No, right. To me, it's all about Kyle Bloom. To me, is about looking at what you currently have within the farm system and what's on the roster, having an understanding of what else is out there, and then making sure that you're bringing in the right players. Yachty is about the development of the players that are currently on the roster.
Okay.
Just like any other coach or any other person that's helping out in spring training. That's how I look at it. You don't have to spend big to be competitive in baseball. It certainly helps. Look at the Rangers. But it's about bringing in the right players. We talk a lot about spending and having that equate to whether or not your team is trying. That's what it means to a fan. If you're spending... If my team is spending, my team is trying. That is like the basic, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about spending. It's about spending on the right players. So if the Cardinals don't want to spend $1 more, fine. You better develop the players that you have, though. You better make shrewd moves at the deadline to bring in better players, because you haven't done that consistently enough. This is why you're in this spot.
For me, it's more about the development, though. you make it to the big leagues, you obviously were one of the best to be able to, that you played against or competed against. But how do you get that player to be the best version of themselves, and how do you get the best out of them? Look at Jordan Walker last year, the fact that he struggled mightily in right field at times. Like, that's development. That comes with reps and opportunities, but that's the development leading up to that point. Now, he got much better as the season went along. But I think sometimes there are so many, I guess, different philosophies, so many different mindsets. I've heard Albert Pujols and Alex Rodriguez say they didn't give a damn about launch angle. Those guys got a lot of home runs between the two of them. And so now you're telling Jordan Walker you need to be sent down because you don't have a great launch angle. If two of the best hitters that have ever hit a ball say they didn't never worry about launch angle, I'm probably going to listen to them as opposed to other people. I understand that that's the development part of it, though. I think that's the main issue that the Cardinals had last season is they had players here not playing in the same position, so you don't get developed in that way because you're in a different spot every single day or every other day, and you're not working or getting to those opportunities enough. The more times you play a different position, the less times you get better at the position that you're really going to be playing. And so for me, it's more about the development of these players and how well this Cardinals staff can get these players to be better. Both pitching staff, infielders, outfielders, everyone, catcher, everyone, catcher. Yeah, just
Miles Michaelis had some things to say about that. I want to get into that later.
Because I like Wilson. And the damn pitchers.
Like I said, Carey, Miles Michaelis had some things to say. They're going to clear some things up a little bit.
Let's do it.
Well, the pitchers, I mean, starts with them, right?
Finally, we're hearing that.
So, the whole philosophy I had on that is that pitching staff. So when we all have been a part of group projects at some point, right? And you have the A student. I like the A student. You know why? Because the A student tells you, hey, don't worry about it. Go home. I got it. You don't have to do anything.
What?
I'm good.
Come on, Carey.
Is that why they...
That's what they told me. The A student said, hey, don't worry about it. You got it. And so that's what Yadier Molina was. He was the A student.
The University of Illinois.
Allegedly. I was there.
ILL, all right.
I. Work smarter, not harder. That's what we learned. And so Yadier was the A student for that pitching staff. They didn't have to show up to the group project. They just said, hey, you do it. You tell me what the answer is, I'll throw the pitch. And now you get another student who's maybe not be an A-plus student at his position in Wilson Contreras, and now we all have to pitch in. And they didn't pitch in. They wanted the A student to do all of the work, and that's part of the reason why that staff, in my opinion, struggled last year because they all needed to do the work, and they all were accustomed to one student doing it.
Well,
Yadier.
Listen, they pitched in.
Spoiled.
They pitched in, but Contreras was often set up outside, and then,
that was weird how Contreras said, listen, I'm going to set up outside, but I want you to pitch it straight down the middle or inside, please.
Yeah.
I want you to hang that curveball, okay? Please. Even though I'm down and away.
So a family and their kids out in the bleachers looking for a souvenir.
I saw the one pitch that stuck in my brain that, like, infuriated me. It was against the Giants last year, and Wilson literally had his butt on the ground, literally sitting on the ground, telling the pitcher, you can bounce it up here if you want to. I want this pitch as low as possible. Where do you think that pitch was? Hanging over the middle of the plate. Where did that pitch go? I think it was Sable that hit it for the game-winning home run, and it was out of there.
Still hasn't landed.
It's still out. How do you blame him? That's crazy to me.
Yeah. All right, it's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We'll have our first Bet the Board draft selection, and then we're going to get back into the Blues here. How can the Blues sustain this level of play? Jamie's got some thoughts on that next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, FanDuel, America's #1 sports pick. They're always at it. They do amazing work over there. And with the Super Wildcard weekend coming up here, 6 games, 3 days. For these teams, it's a win or go home. But you'll always have a spot in the playoffs with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Yeah, when you're Jame or Carey, you're talking about all of the W's that you could get.
Yeah.
FanDuel's got all the action for you.
Yep, and new customers can get started with a $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All you have to do, fellas, is visit FanDuel.com/fast. That's FanDuel.com/fast.
FanDuel's got all the action for you. You got all the playoff games starting this Saturday, so find the teams that you like. Take advantage of the promo. As Carey just mentioned, it's FanDuel.com/fast. You can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 303. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Before we dive back into the Blues and how they can sustain this level of play, we've got our first Bet the Board contestant on the line right now. He goes by Lone Marlins Fan on the Air Comfort Service text line. Wow. So we welcome in Lone Marlins Fan. What's going on?
Not too much. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Welcome to the show. We appreciate it. Congratulations. You got the first pick. So how this is going to work is at the end of each show, we are going to give a betting selection. There's rules for it, and you don't really need to know all the rules in terms of what the play is going to be. All you need to do is draft one of us. You'll be with us all month, so this is a shortened month, so just throughout January. If you win, you'll get an ESPN prize pack. If you lose, well, you can listen to one of the hosts that you choose get punished if they finish last. So if you ain't first, you're last. That's it. So who would you like to take for the rest of January? Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
Well, I'm going to have to go with my man, Jamie Rivers.
Yeah,
right.
Marlins, man. Let's go, baby.
We'll start off strong. Let's go, Jamie.
All right, I got you. Don't you worry.
I got faith.
All right, there you go. You got Jamie Rivers.
At least we got one of them. Yes.
So you'll be attached to all of Jamie's picks each and every show. Sound good?
All right, that sounds good. I would have went with Carey Davis, but if he's going to go Steelers, That's already run wild. So.
Well, you're glad you didn't, because I'm going Steelers, buddy.
Something to keep in mind. All right, Lone Marlins fan, thanks for playing.
Right on. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We'll have 3 more people join us throughout the course of the show today. We used to do this week to week. Winners week to week, but we figure we'll go a whole month. We'll sweeten the pot a little bit when it comes to the prize pack, and then we'll also attach whoever finishes last. They'll face some sort of punishment.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We still have some punishments to pass out due to don't make that face.
Martian Jame.
I think you two have. No, I checked.
What?
I think you all finished last a couple of times and
I think we're
are
good.
due for some payment.
No, it's time.
I think
BT
so.
said he took my shots for me.
I don't think BT did.
He did not. Nope.
I don't think so.
Marsh, Jamie, you're going to be facing some punishment. Jamie, you also lost the Waffle House Challenge.
Which is still like so mind-boggling.
Yes.
So mind-boggling.
I'm so glad our teams were bad these past few weeks.
Certainly were, Marsh.
Can I let you in on a little something? Okay. Well, one, I knew the Vikings game was over almost the moment it started. I was like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And then no, that's not true. The
What are you
Falcons.
talking about?
You know what, Andrew? Just settle down. The Falcons game was over. Like, I was like, okay, this is stupid.
Well, they were winning at some point.
Yeah.
They were winning.
Like the first 3
first
minutes,
quarter.
first
Correct.
5 minutes.
So then I was at a hockey game yesterday afternoon. My girlfriend's son, Reed, had a hockey game out at Afton. Wonderful facility. Great bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. Old Afton Ice Complex. I was glued to my phone. I was watching the game, and I had the Vikings, and I'm like, and they were marching. Down 30-20. They're marching. Interception, son of a... People are like, what's wrong with that guy?
Yeah, he's gonna have to eat a lot of waffles. We'll figure that out. We're arranging to have Jamie have his punishment for that. I do feel somewhat bad for you because
Can't imagine why.
This is all started by me, and then the flames you were ignited because of Marsh, and then you were just an innocent bystander.
I wasn't even here when you guys made the decision. I wasn't even here the day on the air where you guys were like, and if we tie, Jamie will have to do it.
No, we were down at Centene.
Yeah, I don't think I was there.
Oh, you were there.
No way.
Yeah.
I would have said no. I would have, no, don't drag me into your crap.
Yeah, I don't think he was here.
I don't know
You
how we
what?
got dragged.
Yeah,
in.
it kind of sucks.
Either way, yeah.
Sucks for you.
Kind of sucks, eh? Yeah, we'll see, Marshy.
I'll tell you who don't suck. The Blues, huh?
That's a segue. That's a pro.
Win over the weekend, 2-1 over the Carolina Hurricanes. So, Jamie, how do they sustain this level of play? Like, what's most important? I know there's several different factors here, but the way that they have played over their last 10 games, what is the key component for them sustaining this now?
For me, it's a commitment to playing a full 60 minutes. Like, I think that's the biggest problem that the Blues have had in the last season. And then at times this season is just showing up one game looking like a team that could play in the playoffs and showing up the next game and looking like a team that shouldn't be in the NHL. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to those guys at all because, look, I know how hard it is to play day in and day out, but it's also your job to show up and compete every single day. And they just weren't. And the players know this. You ask them to a man, and they'll tell you that it was inconsistent. They didn't have the game-to-game performances that they needed. And defensively, last year things were tough. This year they've done a much better job of identifying that and trying to play better defensively. The power play has struggled this year. But for me, it's playing the 60 minutes. And for these guys to continue to give that effort out there. And that's what you notice. I mean, that's what I notice, especially playing against some of these teams that are just faster. Like the Vancouver Canucks, to a man, are faster. The Carolina Hurricanes are faster. Like, you have a lot of teams that just have a team that's built for a little bit more speed, but the Blues are competing. They're checking very well. And the one thing that I noticed big time in the Vancouver game and then later on in the Carolina game is their puck management has gotten so much better. They're not looking for that east-west pass that gets picked off in the neutral zone. They're not looking for those cute little plays. They still happen. Don't get me wrong. They still happen. There's probably still a few too many in the Carolina game. But when the game was on the line, when the clock was ticking down, you saw a lot more high flips to the neutral zone, off the wall to your forward cutting through, dumping it in the corner, getting in on the forecheck. Against Vancouver in particular, is getting the pucks behind the defenseman, going and getting it. Jake Neighbors had a great one late in the third period. He had the puck, had some skating room. He got swarmed by 3 Vancouver Canucks. Toropchenko was out there. He could have made a play. He just advanced the puck. Toropchenko got in on the forecheck, kept him in the zone for like 4, 5, 6 seconds. And that's the stuff that matters. So for me, it's consistency and recognition out there.
Yeah.
As far as not turning the puck over the way they had been before.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask, everything looks better with the exception of the power play. Still trying to figure
About, Carey? Did you see the way they passed around the other night?
Did they I think the objective is to put it in the net. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good passes are great.
So what's happening now, Carey, is they know it, right?
Yeah.
And teams know that there's a stress factor that surrounds this power play. Of course there is. So what do? They pressure the you-know-what out of the power play. The Blues can't breathe out there because teams are like, go, 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 go. And it's hard to settle it down and to make a clean play. So and the Blues the other night against the Hurricanes, there was a slight refusal to put the puck in deep and go get it. They wanted to enter the zone clean, which all that means is with the puck full control set up. And nobody's going to let you do that because they don't fear your power play at all. So what are you going to do? You pressure, and these guys are going to pressure at the blue lines every time. And if you refuse to put the puck in, they're going to just get the puck on a turnover, or they'll have a battle down low and they'll zip it down the ice. So the Blues now, for me, they have to simplify things and move with speed through the neutral zone. And if the play is not there, if you don't have a window of 7 or 8 feet inside the blue line to gain the zone, you need to keep that speed going and move the puck in down low and go get it, and then change puck side.
Yeah.
So the moment you change puck side, what happens to the penalty kill is you go from this shrunken down little box or diamond that they have on one side of the ice, because that's what the penalty kill wants to do, is they want to cut the ice in half and then outnumber you on that side of the ice. Well, as soon as you change puck side, their diamond has to expand. It has to expand. So now there's seams to pass the puck. Right. Guys are available in the middle of the ice. Defensemen are available up high. And then once you spread it out and you move a couple of passes around, executing properly, they have to settle down. They can't just charge at you.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I don't know what you'd say in football, what the comparable would be, but it'd basically be like where the offense knows exactly what the defense is going to do, and you have to sit back.
It's like a blitz. Like if you know where they're blitzing from and where to attack, the ball should be thrown there.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, and that's what the Blues have to do, is just simplify it, move the puck, but then they have to move it quick, and they have to move it tape to tape. The key is not moving it 10, 20, 30 feet at a time, or the cross-ice passes for the backdoor tap-in. The key is moving it 5 or 6 feet at a time, but quickly. On your stick, off your stick, on your stick, off your stick. Their defensive players then have to move. And Anthony, we've talked about this before. Yeah. The more you can do that, even if you just play catch with a guy, like 3, 4 passes and move it back over to the other side, this guy has to adjust. He's doing little stops and starts and stops and starts. That tires him out. So eventually what happens is you get lazy or you get tired and your stick drags in the wrong spot for a split second, or you're not quick enough to take away the passing lane, and that's, boom, that's when you pounce.
Right.
That's when you capitalize.
But you have to take advantage of it.
You got to take advantage of it. You got to shoot the puck, too. So, the power play's been the biggest challenge for this team this year, and all they can do is just keep trying to work at it.
Yeah, I think just the time in the offensive zone when they do have the power play, it doesn't look like but you hit the nail on the head. They're not getting in there deep enough to make some things happen.
Too. So that's another thing I don't like, is they're stagnant. You watch some of the best power plays, and they got the players interchanging all over the ice. You watch the Avalanche, Cale Makar's down below the net, Nathan McKinnon's up high. They've got guys everywhere. For me, when the Blues finally get set up, make a couple of those passes and then get some guys in motion. Yeah. Guys in motion force the other team to either go with you or, at least if nothing else, respect it. Hey, this movement here, what are these guys doing? Yeah. And then when you get that movement, you'll find seams, either passing lanes or shooting lanes.
We'll find out more tomorrow night. As the Blues take on the Panthers, you can listen to it right here. Pre-game starting at 6 o'clock on 101 ESPN. We'll have the game for you on the Blues Radio Network. NFL Week 18. What questions were answered yesterday? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. So what questions were answered in Week 18? Well, Carey, you and I talked about it earlier. We got the answer in the AFC South. The Jaguars completed their choke.
Yeah, they crumbled.
Opened the door for Houston. Houston was the more exciting team virtually all season long.
Yeah.
And they started off with a rough loss in Baltimore, although that certainly looks a heck of a lot better now with Baltimore earning the number 1 seed. But Houston, C.J. Stroud, that was the more exciting team. How about Nico Collins going off from the first throw that C.J. Stroud made to his final catch? I think he had over, 170-something yards. Houston punched its ticket by winning the South, but Jacksonville, look, it coincided with Jacksonville choking. What other questions do you guys think were answered?
I'm looking at I don't know. I don't know that the Buffalo Bills question is answered. I don't know that the Miami Dolphins question is answered. I think more questions weren't answered than those that were, just because of the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe you say the Dallas Cowboys, but they did what they were supposed to do against the Washington Commanders, right? They were supposed to win that game. It's going to be an interesting playoff because there are so many questions that are still, I think, presented. The Lions, I don't know, Sam Laporta he got injured in that game, and so you have A.J. Brown got injured. That's why I say I think there are more questions going into the playoffs for certain teams than answers. Now, there aren't many questions for Baltimore or for San Francisco. I think those questions have been answered all season long. But when you're looking at all of these other teams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do you have any questions there?
Why would you have questions there, Carey?
It's shaky bakey, right?
That was another gritty performance, though.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that old 9-0 victory.
9-0, 9-0. They were battling versus the worst team in the NFL.
In the middle.
Hang on. He's about to defend Baker Mayfield. Let's let this in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You should really, because I typically
137 yards he passed for.
I'm not a Baker guy. He was limping midway through the second quarter. He's got no running game at all. I think that Baker Mayfield did everything he could. He did everything that the other quarterbacks in the NFC South didn't throughout the course of the year. He was consistent. He didn't put up big time numbers, but if anybody was expecting Baker Mayfield to put up big time numbers, I don't know what you've been watching of late. I thought that was a pretty gritty and gutty performance by him. He was banged up. He could barely move, but when they needed a first down, he got it. When he needed to make a throw, he made a throw. So it's in Carolina. It shouldn't have been that difficult, but
shouldn't have been.
Whatever.
So
he won.
Who plays? Who is it? Philly and Tampa that play?
Yes.
Okay.
On Monday night.
Here's something I saw last night that I found to be intriguing because I really hadn't been paying attention, but it grabbed my attention when I saw it. In the last 6 games, do you know what without looking, what's the Eagles' record in the last 6 games?
2-4.
Anthony?
Or 1-5. 2-5.
They had wins against Kansas City, and they had wins. They had a win against Buffalo, but I can't remember if that was the last 6. I'll say 2-4, like Carey.
1-5.
That's what I thought.
Now, Buccaneers' record in the last 6.
5-1.
5-1. There's something to it, though, Carey. Come on. When a team is heading in the wrong direction, sometimes it's hard to pull that bus back on the tracks.
The Buccaneers played the Falcons, the Packers, the Jags, the Saints, and the Panthers.
Hey, they beat the teams who were on their schedule.
They did.
How about the Eagles, though? Look at
one of those teams.
losses.
Only one of those teams are in the playoffs. Now,
I understand, but you have a team.
But we're
Think
not
about
talking
a team. I'm not talking about
I understand, but
we're not talking about who's the better team.
No. I'm just saying the
might be
competition
better in
that
the
they
moment,
played.
though.
I still think Philadelphia is the better team.
They're favored.
Even
There's
on
no
the
doubt.
road. Yeah. Now, A.J. Brown left that game with an injury. Devontae Smith hurt his ankle the week before. Jalen Hurts got a finger that is gnarled and doing something that it's not supposed to do. I don't know if they're healthy enough. They are having a real Super Bowl hangover from what they had. From the team that they had last year. They have kind of collapsed here down the stretch, which no one expected. They were supposed to win that division with ease, and here they are, not winning the division and letting the Cowboys take it over.
That's kind of where I'm headed with it.
Yeah.
They're going to lose at Raymond James next Monday.
You think they're going to lose to the Buccaneers?
Yes.
Come to the dark side.
I think
Fire
you two
them
are on your own
cannons.
there. I don't think despite all of those injuries, the Buccaneers scored. They just.
Hey, all they need is 9 points, Carey.
This is not about the Bucs. This is about the Eagles. The Eagles are banged up. The Eagles' secondary is terrible. Mike, this is actually a pretty rough matchup for them. Their corners are not good. You got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin now that they have to. I mean, Cade Otton is a decent tight end. This is a bad matchup. If it was reversed and you could run on Philly, which you can now, by the way, but if you could run on Philly. But the secondary is shut down. I would say there's no way. Tampa can't run the football. But I think that this is a tougher draw right now than it was a couple of weeks ago. The Eagles are banged up. Tampa's not. Tampa actually has gotten healthier. They went through their injuries earlier in the month. I think that this is a rough matchup, and Tampa's going to pull off the upset.
Wow. Man, that's surprising.
Calling it now.
I wasn't really going
and he
there.
knows I'm not a Bucs fan. I'm not a Baker fan.
No, you're neither, which is surprising to me.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
I still think Philadelphia, we got to see what the injury report looks like with those two wide receivers, obviously. If they run the football and make that decision, the secondary, I think, is really no different from what it's been over past years. The thing that's different is their inability to get to the quarterback. They didn't have to blitz last year and got to the quarterback often. They're a year older. They're not making as many plays up front on that defensive line, which is costing that back end and really putting them in a bad place. Now, you got to do your job. But if the quarterback has more time to sit back there and not be disrupted and throw the football, doesn't matter who you have back there. He's going to get beat from time to time because there's no pressure in his face. And that's what the Philadelphia Eagles are struggling with. They're not getting any pressure up front. They're not running the ball well enough. And now they're leaning on Jalen Hurts throwing the ball to A.J. Brown because he's complaining the most, and you got to get him the ball 18 to 15 targets a game. And so that's, to me, what their issue is. A.J. Brown may be injured. Now you probably would see the best version of the Philadelphia Eagles if he's unable to play. I'm pretty sure he will. Sounds crazy, right?
No, I get it.
But the fact that you should run the football, you want him there because you need to throw the ball to a guy. You want to throw it to him. Mm-hmm. But they need to run the football and run it heavily and defensively get after the quarterback. And I don't think that the Buccaneers puts much fear in me in terms of that.
So I thought this was going to be a pretty active Black Monday in the NFL with a bunch of coaches being fired. Instead, just two. From last night.
Yeah.
So last night, the Falcons fired Arthur Smith. And the Commanders fired Ron Rivera. What a dope. What a dope.
He's your favorite.
As soon as he
was so mad.
What a donkey.
Your team scored 0.0 points in the second half. You got rolled. And then you're upset because the Saints punched one in on you. First of all, they're big rivals. Second of all, Dennis Allen called for victory formation. Jameis Winston said, screw that noise.
He couldn't see the signal.
He couldn't see it.
I know you got the contacts in the lane.
Coach, remember that?
And I didn't hear it either. I know he said something. Victor scored the victory. Okay, I got you.
They even said, too, some of the Falcons' defensive linemen were like, hey, are you kneeling? And the Bucs didn't say anything, which would have been another indication.
Saints,
thank you. The Saints didn't. The offensive linemen didn't say anything, so that would have been another indication. I had no problem with the Saints.
Play to the end of the game, man.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Tyrann Mathieu almost put it in on a pick six. So Arthur Smith streaking across the field, being upset. You should be ticked off at yourself, man. You had the easiest schedule in the NFL. You danced or you didn't want Lamar. Apparently, you didn't want some of these other guys. You had Desmond Ritter, you signed Taylor Heineke. Yeah. And then you played the game where it's like, all right, we're going to stick with Ritter. No, we're not. Just kidding. We're going to Heineke. Then, no, we're going to back to Ritter. You sealed your fate, man.
Yeah.
Easiest schedule in the NFL.
7-10, 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Just not a good product that the Falcons put on the field. And they have talent. Exactly. They have enough talent.
Boys.
Yes, they do.
They got to find a quarterback.
They need a quarterback for sure, and they need leadership.
I agree.
And there's been a rumor here, we're looking through some of these things, that the Falcons, it's been rumored that the Falcons have potentially asked for permission to talk to Bill Belichick.
Well, that'd be nice.
That's going to be bad.
Why is that going to be bad?
You think who's the quarterback, Anthony?
We'll get Bailey Zappi. He looked good yesterday.
There you go. Problem solved.
Here's the good thing. You can't get any worse than what
true.
you
You
had at
actually
quarterback.
can.
Not really.
Worse than what they had at quarterback. I thought you meant in terms of record.
No, I'm
'Cause the
talking
Patriots
about
had a worse record this year.
I'm talking about at quarterback. You can't get any worse than two guys.
Can you not?
Did you see Ritter fumble the
They are
ball when nobody was
terrible.
around him yesterday?
They
Fell on
aren't
the
good.
ground.
They aren't good.
I don't think you can get worse. You could stay parallel by bringing somebody that's not good. I don't know if you get worse. It's tough, Carey.
Good luck, man. I'm sorry. It's just gone down.
Oh, it's my downhill. It's my lot in life with the Falcons. Be downhill. It's always been downhill. Every once in a while, you have this peak.
You all were in a Super Bowl.
We were up too.
Yeah.
I think they won it. I turned it off.
You turned it off.
I turned it off in the third quarter. I said, they got it.
Wouldn't that be poetic, though, that Belichick now becomes the coach?
Oh, man.
Here's how I did it,
He
guys.
brings Brady out of retirement. We're getting the band back together.
That would be incredible. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Does this game tonight in the College Football National Championship, does it change the landscape at all in college football? Marsh had mentioned that this is the first time in how many years that you don't have two or one SEC team in it. Will it change the landscape in college football? We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and I know you all heard me talk about the deck that I had built. The company STL Design and Build did a wonderful job of not just getting me the deck in a great amount of time for a great price. They also were a great company that made sure that every question that I had was asked and answered. Had an issue at one point where my deck was... the boards were scratched, and they brought me new boards to make sure that they didn't put a new board on that deck that would look bad. So they were there for me. They're an award-winning company, taking home the top workplace award as well as the best home improvement company. But they not only do decks, they also do siding. They do interior work. They do kitchen and bath. And so if you need some work done, trust me, they will help you. They will get you together. The STL stands for STL Design and Build, stands for St. Louis, but it also stands for Sky's the Limit, because they will make sure you have the best product in hand at all times and be there with you every step of the way. You can check them out online today at stldesignandbuild.com. That's stldesignandbuild.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues defeated the Hurricanes over the weekend, a final score of 2-1, a shootout winner. Braden Shen with the winner in the shootout. The Blues will take on the Florida Panthers tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals named Kyle Bloom as an advisor to the president of baseball operations. Bloom most recently served as chief baseball officer for the Boston Red Sox from 2019 through 2023. Tonight we have the national championship as Michigan takes on Washington. Pregame for that one starts at 5:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
So before we get into the national championship and whether or not this game is going to have a kind of an impact moving forward on the college football landscape, let's bring on Tim. Tim is the second contestant for our Bet the Board for January. Tim, first of all, welcome in. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Pretty good,
Wonderful.
bud.
So, Tim, you're going to be, whoever you draft, you're going to be with that host for the rest of January. So whoever they pick, that's going to be your plays. And if they wind up winning, then you're going to win a 101 ESPN prize pack. Now, Jamie's off the board. So would you like to have Carey, Marsh, or me?
Now, I've given this a lot of thought, and
Good man.
I remember you having a lot of penalties throughout this past year, and Carey, no offense, is the new guy on the board, so I am going to go with Andrew Marsh.
Wow.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
Tim has Marsh. All right. So you and Marsh are linked through the month of January.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Let's go, Tim.
Good luck to you, Tim. Marsh is excited.
We got this.
Yes, we do.
See you, Tim. Good luck.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye.
Thanks.
What
I didn't. No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe he's talking about you guys getting shot all the time. Or, well, not you.
What do you mean,
or
you guys?
Hey, in case we forgot.
I finished second to you.
You finished second to who?
You.
All right.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
by the way.
You just don't have to finish last every week.
That's correct.
You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just
gotta
have to be
be
faster than your buddy.
That's exactly right. It's just logical. All right, so we'll have two more. We'll have two more contestants on to the next person. Will have an opportunity to draft either me or Carey, and then the last person will just be stuck with the other person. But it'll be fun nonetheless. So that's Bet the Board, which is coming up at 5:15 today because we are off early for the national championship. The pregame's at 5:30, Washington and Michigan. Marsh brought up before our pre-show meeting talking about how there's not an SEC team. Could we see recruits flock to Michigan and Washington and the Big Ten, since both these teams are going to be in the Big Ten next year? Washington moving, of course, from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten conference. I think you see that anyways. Clemson, when Clemson came about, Clemson got better at recruiting. When Georgia started to appear in the national championship, their recruiting got stronger. Right. I think that's natural. My question is, will this game change the landscape of college football moving forward?
In terms of
the elite teams, will we see, because when Clemson came about, Clemson had a pretty good run. Do you see Michigan, or really Washington, because Michigan's now been in the playoffs, but do you see Washington being able to sustain a run?
Well, I think just the fact that that Washington and Oregon are moving to the Big Ten, I think that's a great, a big thing for both of those teams, because it's going to change not that Oregon or Washington have trouble recruiting, because they go nationally. They can go anywhere they want to get kids. But I think it just changes the landscape of what college football looks like. And for me, seeing this game, the best part about this for me, the best part about tonight is that it's the last one where there's only 4 teams in. You're going to have more teams in next year. You're going to have more opportunities, and you're going to have a more expanded field, which I think is the best thing for college football. When you look at FCS football, when you look at Division II football, they have college football playoffs, and it actually is fun to watch. There's an opportunity for many teams to win. Now, normally the best teams are going to win, but there's an opportunity for multiple teams to be in and have a chance. And so what this college football landscape with the transfer portal and all of the things that are going on and the expansion of the college football playoffs, it's just going to bring more attention to what college football is and make it even bigger than what it already is.
How much is this really going to affect the Big Ten? I'm looking at the Big Ten, and it's always been a two-headed monster for the most part. You get some outliers where you said, but
they had an Iowa every now and then.
Every now and then, but
Wisconsin.
for the most part, especially recently, it's Michigan, Ohio State. It's this, this back and forth of whoever wins that game,
Right.
But now you got some heavy hitters joining the fray here.
I think with that, with all of our conference realignments that we're seeing, of course, Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC, as we've talked about, Washington, Oregon.
I don't know
going
if
to the
that
Big Ten.
impacts the SEC as much as these teams joining the Big Ten.
You're right. I think now it's these two teams maybe make the conference even more top heavy, or expand the top. But when it comes to the playoff fields, I think this is the last year that we're going to see, and it's not even this special. I think with Georgia losing, I think that we're not going to see like the dynasties in college football. I don't think we're going to see the sustained run. And the reason for that is because you have now multiple playoff games where anything could happen.
Yeah.
If you have a semifinal game in the national championship, okay. If you have to win multiple playoff games in order to get in, there's just more it's football. There's just more things that could go wrong.
Injuries.
The best team that you get a matchup. It's one game. We're not talking about a series here.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to see what we saw with Alabama or Clemson for a little while or Georgia recently. I don't think we're going to see a lot of multi-year champions.
I hope it does do that. I hope there are more opportunities. I mean, even the group of 5 teams. We often talk about Big Ten, SEC, Pac-12, AC, but we don't like the TC, not the TCU, but the Cincinnatis of the world when they had their opportunity a few years ago. I want to see more teams. What was it? Florida Atlantic, not Florida Atlantic. What team was it down in Florida that claimed themselves as
UCF.
national?
Yeah,
Central
UCF.
Florida.
Yeah.
A few years ago, like they beat Auburn
in the whatever bowl
it was. Those games mean a lot to people. You have Boise State that beat Oklahoma a few years back, where no way in the world Boise State beats Oklahoma, but they did. That's what makes football fun. That's what in March. That's what gets you excited about the tournament, because any team has a chance in a one-game scenario to play their best game versus a team that is not playing their best game, and so. It's a little different in football because you got big guys up front and the other team doesn't. It usually goes that way. But there's still that opportunity there. So I'm excited about the opportunity for more teams to have a chance to actually win a national championship.
I'm with you on that. We've got the Sports Six-Pack coming up. So 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Text in your questions. We'll do our Sports Six-Pack next in the Fast Lane.
Cheap, fun.
If you're throwing a party anytime soon, or you're just having a nice, quiet night at home, Dirt Cheap is your one-stop shop for all things to do with partying. I tell you, they've got the fantastic selection of beers and wines. They've got all the spirits that you're looking for. And let me tell you, right now, Maker's Mark has a couple out there. Whoa. And the one that I absolutely love, it's called Snow Day. Had a little pour last night, and it's smooth, and it's got a little burn at the end for that, maybe that cold January night that you're going through. This is the way to do it, and Dirt Cheap has that available right now in store. And let's not forget that the name Dirt Cheap is talking about the prices, not the product. They have some fantastic products in there. For the bourbons, they've got Angel's Envy, Elijah Craig, Blanton's, you name it, they've got you covered. And the best thing about Dirt Cheap is they are always looking to save you you money. And another way to save money is download the app. There's more savings, giveaways, there's VIP clubs, and one of the best parts is delivery. Dirt Cheap is now delivering, and you got to get on the app to use that service. But man, what a luxury to get all your spirits at a discounted price and then get them delivered. Dirt Cheap is doing it right. And please stop into any location that's out there. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. And remember, have fun, but be safe out there.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six Pack.
Question number one.
All right, gentlemen, from the 618, why in the world would the Cardinals hire Kyle Bloom? The guy single-handedly destroyed the Red Sox.
Well, what were his mission? Like, what was his instructions?
I don't think his instructions were to just...
I don't think that was... You're right, Jamie. I don't think that was it either. When you hire... Yeah. Come on in.
Hey, Kyle.
Ruin this for
Here's
us.
a stick of dynamite. Do your thing.
Want to take this in a different direction. Major League style. All right, why don't you go ahead and blow this thing up? No, when you hire somebody from Tampa Bay, though, I can't imagine that the idea is to spend like you did with Dave Dombrowski. The idea was to bring in Kyle Bloom to build a farm system that could complement the spending ability to Boston. It just didn't happen. You had the COVID year, if you throw that one out. 2021 was good. 2022 and 2023 weren't. The Mookie Betts deal was not great, and you kind of knew it at the time. They did not bring back Xander Bogaerts because they paid a lot of money to Rafael Devers, and some of the moves that he made just didn't pan out. But the idea was to him to replenish the farm system, just like he did in Tampa. I don't think it was a disastrous job. And look, anybody that you hire that had a job previously, more times than not, he was fired. He was let go. So can you look past that and hire him for a role that you need that he can handle? So I think Kyle Bloom, bringing him in, it's another set of eyes, somebody else outside of Jame Mozeliak that knows rosters around the league, and somebody that can take a look at your roster and your farm system and do an internal audit. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a great move. Maybe that's a strong word. I'm just a big believer in expanding your staff. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer in people being held accountable. And I'm not saying that Kyle Bloom is going to hold Jame Mozeliak accountable like I'm watching you. That's not at all what I mean. But being held accountable can be in the simple fact that now the processes that you go through have one more layer of approval.
Sure.
Have one more layer of suggestion or thought on it. So now instead of Jame Mozeliak and Michael Gersh just making a decision, I know there's usually more than that and DeWitts are involved, but you got one more guy who can offer an opinion out of experience, whether the experience was good or whether it blew up in his face the last time or whatever it is. You got another brain in the organization to bounce something off of it. Right. I'm here for it.
I mean, I think all of that is well and good. I think it's awesome to have more people with more ideas. But at the end of the day, if you aren't going to spend money correctly, it doesn't matter.
But maybe he's there to help with that, Carey.
Maybe,
right?
How many championships has he won?
Well,
How many? 15 years in Tampa, they went to one World Series.
But it's a
went
miracle
to the playoffs
that they
5
did.
times. Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is.
It is. How many championships did they win?
But how many good
Boston?
young players have they found?
That's great. It's wonderful. But if it doesn't translate to championships,
but it couldn't in Tampa, Carey. It couldn't because once they finally got a paycheck, they got rid of him.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
But that's what happens.
I agree.
So maybe this guy can help find these young players, and then the Cardinals won't just get rid of them. Maybe they'll keep some and pay
them
them
to the Rays.
Well, Richie Palacios.
You got a pitcher.
Richie Palacios, AL MVP.
That's correct.
Coming up.
You put $100, you're gonna get about $700,000 back.
Retiring of Rich Palacios.
I just want, I'm intrigued to see how this all pans out. At the end of the day, development, spending money correctly, getting guys in here that are going to work hard, compete, and do their job consistently. We've talked about that with the St. Louis Blues all season long. Those are all of the things that build championship teams. And finding, for me, this right now, I still think they are a starting pitcher away from being a really good team. Like they lost 90 games last year. Maybe they 81-81 right now with the additions that they have. And I think you're still a real dominant pitcher away from being, whether that's in the bullpen or as a starter. Somewhere on this rotation, you are missing something. In this Cardinals rotation, you're missing something. So for me, just seeing where they go from here, I don't know how much he's going to add, what he's going to add. I guess we'll take the wait and see approach, but figure something out. They're going to go into spring training with what they have. Let's see how it looks.
Question number 2.
From the 636, if you could make a Frankenstein of a quarterback, which current QB parts would you infuse in him?
Sounds interesting.
I mean,
You got to start with the brain. So where are you going to go? Knowledge, IQ. Where are you going?
I'm going Peyton Manning.
You said current.
Current.
Yeah,
You said
current.
Oh,
Otherwise, I
yeah,
just
I
say
would've
Tom
said
Brady.
Brady.
yeah, right. Yeah.
IQ, football IQ.
I think that, if you could go Aaron Rodgers, You can't fool him. Yeah,
His football brain, correct?
Yeah. Yes, his football brain.
Yeah, football brain is what we want. Okay, let's go Aaron Rodgers.
What about
for football brain?
Can I tempt your tummy with Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow would be great. The guy that processes information as fast as anyone is Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, yeah.
He processes information.
It's hard.
Let's go with Aaron Rodgers.
It's hard to.
That's why I said first.
Justin Herbert can't get it done when it really matters.
You keep doing that, Anthony's going to think it's his show again. Jeez.
Wait, it's not?
You're like, hey, Carey, remember what I told you? Whatever I say, you just say yes.
Yeah, I'm on his side.
Yep. Exactly.
Arm talent?
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. We're going to go feet. We're going to go Lamar. No question.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, easily.
I don't know how you would. I don't know how you define this, but like play, moxie, all that. No, not toughness, but kind of like the freelance ability and all that. It's got to be Mahomes.
That's why I was looking at Mahomes even for feet.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like splitting hairs a little bit there.
You could also do arm talent, Patrick Mahomes. He's got more than enough arm strength. Plus, he can. I mean, He's incredible when it comes to finding open passing windows.
Toughness and grit?
Toughness and grit. Joe Burrow's a great one.
For 2 years
absolutely.
Straight.
Yeah.
They gave him no offensive line.
Yeah.
What about accuracy?
Well, you got to go with Tua, according to Tyreek.
I mean, Tua is very accurate in the short to intermediate part of the game.
It's a quarterback that I don't think gets enough love, and he's made a lot of money in this league. Is going to get signed to get
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Kirky Cousins.
Yeah.
He beat off all the time.
He does.
Kirk is going to make $500 million before it's all said and done.
I've got the toughness.
Who you got?
Jalen Hurts.
That's who I was thinking when I said toughness.
Toughness, grit,
Just
all
grit,
that.
just
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
What are you looking at me that for?
What makes him tough?
Are you kidding me? He got benched at Alabama, stayed there.
What
Bounced back,
what
went to
physically
Oklahoma.
makes him tough? He couldn't even play through a little squirrely finger yesterday.
Have you seen him move the pile on 4th and 1?
Oh, that the tush push?
Yeah,
because his buddies jam him from behind.
What are you talking about? He squats like 500
They get that
pounds.
first down and they score every time. Like, come on, Carey.
Not everybody can do that, though.
Not everyone can. Josh Allen couldn't get it done last night.
These guys weren't pushing hard enough from behind.
Got to push hard from behind.
You do have to do
Right?
that. That helps.
Turf was slippery.
Yeah, I think we built it. All right, we'll.
You want
guess
one
we'll
more?
end there.
A little quick one?
Yeah,
Just real
give us a
quick.
quickie.
Question number 3.
All right. From the, where'd it go here? The 913, would you rather be locked in a mall with a silverback gorilla or 7 full-grown mambas? Both scenarios are actively seeking you out and you're alone.
In a mall?
In a mall.
Okay, this is easy for me.
The gorilla.
No, the Mambas.
Mamas can climb.
Yeah, but I don't care. The gorilla is going to look and smell and want to kill me immediately. Because it's going to be like, this dude here, he's just pounding his chest, be like, I'm the alpha male. And I'm going to be like, yes, you are. Where's the exit? Whereas the Mambas, I feel like they won't really care. As long as I don't piss them off, they won't really
But
care.
they're actively looking for you.
actively looking for
both
you.
That's what he
groups are
said.
actively looking for you.
I'm
The
hiding
Mambas are
in
going to take longer to
Dillard's.
get to me. The gorilla's going to track me down with a blink of an eye. You ever seen those things run on all fours?
Yeah,
But at least you can hear it coming.
Yeah.
And then what?
I don't know, but I mean, the mamba
I
could
just
sneak
feel
up.
like it's 7 of those,
You could be
though.
sitting there like, oh, this is pretty easy. And all of a sudden, it's right here.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be quicker with the Mamba at least. Like the gorilla's going to play with me and just beat my head in a little bit.
You're looking to have this thing just be over with.
If I can't get out of there, if I can't escape, I don't want to get the piss pounded out of me by a gorilla.
Well, no, let's just say there's one exit, right? There's one exit, and you have to figure out where that exit is. Are you being sneaky, or are you just sprinting towards the exit?
If it's the Mambas, I'm sprinting.
Yeah.
If it's the gorilla, I am stealth mode.
Yeah, I'm with Jame on
I'm like
that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando or Predator. I'm covered in mud and all this stuff. Scooting along the floor.
I'm with Jamie on that. Yep. All right, it's a fast lane on 101 to ESPN. So we need Marsh. We need Marsh. We had a controversy.
What?
Well, I won And then we had to do a justice thing.
So what was the justice?
We gave him another chance. I said a word for Ben and didn't say it for Anthony or took it back. It was history. It was like the most interceptions in history.
People had an issue with the way Carey.
So we gave him an opportunity.
So we gave him another full game to try?
And he
same category?
Yeah, he beat me 8-7.
Yeah,
wow.
Oh, yeah. It was.
He beat me 8-7, and I lost on the first question. Didn't know it by asking for the options.
Oh, wow.
It was bad.
Right? Wasn't it? Because I got
the first question. You got all the other ones.
I got all the other ones right.
You got all of them right except for the first one you asked for options.
8-7.
Yeah.
So
well,
Ben.
I mean, if there was justice needed, then I guess we have to trust the text line.
Yeah. And now we have to trust Marsh to come up with the first save of 2024. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
If you are currently looking to spice up the look of your vehicle, please head over to Pure Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all aftermarket accessories. And whether it's running boards, if it's a lighting kit, a lift kit, leveling kit, maybe the off-road tires, all of these things are available at Pure Performance. And it doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you have. Maybe you have just an SUV. They've got you covered. A pickup truck, they've got you. A car, even a minivan. They have accessories for that. And of course, if you have a Jeep or a Bronco, I mean, the list is endless of the amazing accessories that they have available for you in that category. So please get out and see my friends at Pure Performance. They have a 25,000 square foot facility located in St. Peter's, right off of Highway 70. When you walk in, you have to do me a favor. You have to ask for Shelby. And then you tell Shelby that Jamie Rivers sent you in. One, she's going to giggle, and then she's going to help you out. She's going to ask you what kind of vehicle you have and what you're looking to do. And then the technicians take over from there. And let's not forget that it's a full-service garage as well. So if there's anything else that you need while you're in there, whether it's an oil change or a tune-up or wiper blades, a headlight, Pure Performance has got you covered. So please, again, stop by over there in person. You'll love the facility. If you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit masstour.com.
Welcome back back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. It is time for the Gauntlet, and we got our guy Ben back. Ben, how we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
I'm good. I mean, Anthony was saying you cheated last time against him. What's going on there, Ben?
I mean, you're going to have to ask the text line on that one. I'm not completely sure.
To Ben's credit, he was ready to just say, good job, Anthony. And the text line kind of blew up, and so we gave him another chance.
No, you know what? And I'm glad we did. And then he took Anthony behind the woodshed and did his thing.
I lost 8-7.
Yeah, well,
you guys are acting like I didn't get a pick right.
If you lost 8-7, he lost 8-0. Did you lose?
I lost.
There you go. Thank you. That's it.
Matter.
You feel good about that?
No, I feel terrible
You feel united here?
We are united.
What's wrong with you?
All three of us actually
What's wrong with you?
on the same side.
Get on the same page.
We are. Ben put us here.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, thanks,
Ben
man.
put us here, us three.
On this side.
On this side.
Yes.
Now, Marsh, it's up to you
Here we
to
go,
not
Marsh.
be a part of this club, this exclusive club that we have.
All right, Ben. You know what's at stake. Go ahead and tell Marsh to spin the wheel.
All righty, Mark, spin that wheel.
All right, so Ben beat all of us in football. We'll see if the wheel has football for the championship round. Gauntlet trophy on the line in 2024. Marsh has got to get his rear end into the cone of silence. Carey, I think you're the one that can see the wheel.
Yes.
What do we got?
We got baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this the first baseball for
Yes.
Ben?
He's been
He's got football the entire time.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So I'm going to hand these guys the launch
Now we get to
codes.
see.
Ben, you already know.
Anthony, all right over there?
Well, we only got two. We only got two sheets here.
We could, well, I don't give a
we'll
sheet.
share.
I'll share with Carey.
There you go. Nice job. Ben, you already know the rules. You get 4 questions, all baseball related. Each question worth 2 points unless you need the options. And then those questions are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. The Dodgers recently introduced new right-hander Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Who is the most recent Dodgers starter to win 20 games in a single season? Who is the most recent Dodgers starter to win 20 games in a single season?
Bueller, final answer.
All right, Ben means business today. All right, Ben, question number 2. Nolan Arenado made his first National League All-Star team as a reserve in 2015. Who started that year's game at third base for the National League?
You said 2013?
I said 2015.
2015. Ooh. Justin Turner, final answer.
Okay.
All righty. Where are we at?
Question 3.
All right. Question number 3. Only 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball history have issued more than 1,800 career walks. They are Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, and who else?
Mr. Options.
Is it Randy Johnson, Tom Seaver, or Phil Necro? Excuse me.
What was the last name on the Phil what?
Phil Necro.
Got to go Randy Johnson, final answer.
All right, Ben, last question. On April 10th, 2006, the Cardinals opened the new Busch Stadium with a 6-4 victory over which team?
Milwaukee Brewers, final answer.
All right, we'll bring back Marsh from the Cone of Silence here. Ben, how you feeling with the Gauntlet trophy on the line?
I really want to know what that walks answer is.
Well, you'll find out.
In due time.
In due time.
We promise we'll tell you.
All right, appreciate it.
Marsh, how was the Cone of Silence?
It was great. Just having some great conversations with Mike Ryder.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
You locked in?
Get that water. I was wondering whether he's taking too much time. Anthony, stop talking to the guy. He has to do his water thing. He's the LeBron James of board ops, you know? You gotta watch him. He does the little...
Game on the line. No better shirt to be wearing right now than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
Feel good about that?
You're right. It's not prime time. We're safe.
Right. You need.
You're right. It's
We're
not.
fine.
It's not 7 yet.
You need 9 yards. I'll get you 2.
Absolutely.
You
Hell
need
of a completion.
17. I'll get you 5. No problem.
100%.
All right, Marsh, pack a lunch, kid. You ready?
I'm ready.
The Dodgers recently introduced new righty Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Who is the most recent Dodgers starter to win 20 games in a single season? who was the most recent Dodgers starter to win 20 games in a single season?
Ooh, what is his name? I'm going to go with Tony Gonsolin, final answer.
All right, Marshy, question number 2. Nolan Arenado made his first National League All-Star team as a reserve in 2015. Who started that year's game at third base for the National League?
2015. Let's see. Jeez. 2015. That would have been the New York Mets against the Kansas City Royals in the World Series. I believe David Wright maybe was in one of his final years there. So I'm going to go with, 2015. Or was it Todd Frazier? Let me use the options.
All right. After all that, we'll get to the options. Was it Todd Frazier, Scott Rowland, or Pablo Sandoval?
Oh, man. 2015. I'm going to go with, was that the year? If that was the year that the Reds hosted the All-Star game, I'm going to go with Todd Frazier. He was a Red. Todd Frazier, final answer.
All right, Marshy, only 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball history have issued more than 1,800 career walks. They are Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, and who else?
1,800 walks? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to have to use the options.
Randy Johnson, Tom Seaver, or Phil Niekro?
I have no clue. Let's go with Phil Niekro, final answer.
All right, Marsh, question number 4. On April 10th, 2006, the Cardinals opened New Busch Stadium with a 6-4 victory over which team?
The Milwaukee Brewers, final answer. I actually skipped school that day to watch that game.
What?
Attaboy. Look at you now.
Wow. Just outed yourself, too.
Look at you now.
Repercussions.
Yeah, I got demoted to the Orange Reading Group.
Yeah, you did. Here we go. Gauntlet trophy on the line for Ben. His last opponent, Andrew Marsh. How did they do? Start off with the last question. On April 10th, 2006, the Cardinals opened New Busch Stadium with a 6-4 victory over which team? Ben, you said the Brewers. Marsh, you said the Brewers. Correct answer is?
Well, guys, in fact, it was the Milwaukee Brewers.
Neither of you used the options. Nice job. 2-2 tie between Ben and Marsh. Only 3 pitchers in MLB history have issued more than 1,800 career walks. They are Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, and who else? Ben, you used the options. You went with the big unit, Randy Johnson. Marsh, you said I have no idea. Give me the options. Then you went with Phil Niekro. Correct answer is?
Phil Niekro.
Phil Niekro is the correct answer.
Niekro.
1809. 1809. That's the number of walks across 24 seasons for Phil Niekro.
I was going to say, every time I face off against the big unit in MLB The Show, he's always striking me out.
Of course,
So,
yeah,
come on.
naturally, yeah. So Marsh has got a 3-2 lead over Ben. Nolan Arenado made his first National League All-Star team as a reserve in 2015. Who started that year's game at third base for the National League? Ben, without the options, you went Justin Turner. He was not an option. We know that because Marsh took the options and went with Todd Frazier after thinking about David Wright. Correct answer is?
Cincinnati Red, Todd Frazier.
Todd Frazier. So Marsh has a 2-point lead. Last question. Neither of you used the options. The Dodgers recently introduced new right-hander Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Who is the most recent Dodger starter to win 20 games in a single season? Marsh, you went Tony Gonsolin. Ben, you went old Timmy Tight Pants Walker Buehler. Here are your options. Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, and Clayton Kershaw. So we know that Tony Gonsolin is not the answer. If it's Walker Buehler, we've got a walk-off. If it's Julio Urias or Clayton Kershaw, Marsh wins, and Ben falls one contestant short, one host short of a gauntlet. Carey, who was the most recent Dodger starter to win 20 games in a single season?
Walker Buehler is not the answer. It is Julio Urias.
Ben!
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Ben, I'm sorry. Got you 4-2. 4-2 today. Marsh, good memory on him.
Marsh.
That was good. That was a tough one.
Yep.
Nice job, though, man. You gave all of us a scare. You made that run. You had to win multiple games just to get here, and you did it. But unfortunately,
you had to beat Anthony twice.
You had to beat it. Yeah. Well, once.
Well, one with an asterisk next to it.
That's all right. It still counts. All right, Ben. Nice job, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. Nice work.
All right. Thanks for having. Had a blast. See you guys.
See you,
Good job, Ben.
101 ESPN has your chance to score a pair of tickets to Billy Joel and Sting for one night only on Friday, September 27th at Busch Stadium. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m., but you can win free tickets right now by answering this question. We're going to go with the layup. What band did Sting, who is he the front runner for, the front man for? Yep, I told you it was going to be a layup.
Anthony, I got this for you.
No,
you see?
Just
They
that.
had a couple of really big songs, too.
Who is he the front man for? What band?
Really big songs.
Until they broke up in 1986. Text in now to the Air Comfort Service
Hard
text
time
line at
catching my breath.
314-399-9646. And you can find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to register to win tickets to see Billy Joel and Sting at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. We'll tell you who wins coming up after the break. What's Trending is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, are you currently using ED meds? If you are, I bet you're paying too much for them. Too much. The little blue pill, the gummy, all that stuff. It's great. I understand you want to be ready come game time, but not paying too much. Get to the medicine shop in St. Charles. They are your destination for cheap ED meds. They have a generic called sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. That is unbelievable. Again, less than $2 a pill. Prescription is required. And they got an unbelievable pharmacy, and the staff is super courteous and very, very helpful. This time of year, there's aches and pains. There might be some cold and flu and sniffles, and maybe you're not sure, what medicine is best for you. The medicine shop in St. Charles, they're going to help you with all that. They're going to point you in the right direction, and they're going to make sure that you leave there completely satisfied. And another feature that I love is the free discreet shipping to your home or your workplace of any regular medicines that you use. So if you can't get to the pharmacy, it's fine. The pharmacy comes to you, and that's at the medicine shop in St. Charles. So please stop by. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. If you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at stcharles.pharmacy. That's stcharles.pharmacy.
Time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'll tell you what's trending. Fastlane officially knocks off the Rizzuto show in the Pick'em Challenge. Nice job, guys.
Yep.
Nice work.
Good job, fellas.
We're now up 4-3 overall.
Overall, yes, we're back-to-back champions after a 10-6-2 record.
Yeah. 10-6-2?
10-6-2.
Yeah,
That's 18, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Didn't stand a chance.
Math checks, huh?
Kind of smoked them.
I think.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't we didn't beat the brains in a little bit more.
You know, I was hoping we went undefeated, actually. Because
Right, me too.
We're so good at what we do, right? We understand it a little bit better than I think some of them do. And so, you know, they're good people. I love those guys down there.
They're great. They're great until they start complaining about us doing something, and then
Moon, these are my guys. They're great people. Rafe, all of them.
You said Moon was complaining? I agree. He probably was.
Moon
That would
didn't
Carey
complain,
said,
did
right?
he?
that's what Carey said.
Okay, that's what we're gonna go with.
Yeah.
But no, was he not? Or was it somebody else?
I didn't hear
They'll
any
come up with
complaints.
something else.
You think?
Of
What
course.
what could you possibly come
Nothing.
up with
Nothing.
when you lose 6 and we won 10?
Well, boys, I don't know if you know this, but a little birdie told me that they were complaining about, and I don't know who it was because I wasn't able to listen to their show today, but said that they want tiebreakers now. For those tied weeks, they want tiebreakers.
Oh, you mean the same team that did not want tiebreakers a year ago?
Yeah, and the same team.
Because they thought that it would benefit them.
And the same team that petitioned for changing the rules within our group, the two shows, of not being able to change your pick after you punch it on Sunday, which is not a rule at all with the app. But they decided to, and we bent for that one, and now they still want
whatever.
I'm just tired of it.
Whatever.
Didn't you have something with the home run derby as well?
Oh, gosh.
There's always something, Gary.
Okay.
Always. Yeah, and there will be
We beat
again.
them there again. They said, no, we didn't get this.
We're crushing them. It's all that they have. All right.
It happens.
So we do have to pick out a punishment, though, for them.
Okay.
In terms of the photo shoot. So we have an opportunity to oversee a photo shoot involving the Rizzuto show, in which we can choose to have them in any sort of,
get up
shot, get up that we want. And then we can use said photos to plaster it all around town if we choose.
Well, Tommy Mattern did tell me that he believes there is a billboard that was available.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll have to follow up on that, of course. But yeah.
Well, let's start thinking, boys. Nice job. Congratulations to each and every one of you. And Carey Davis led us.
To us.
Congratulations to us. We did it. And Carey Davis led us all.
Yeah, Carey.
I was trying to catch you over the weekend. I went in. I went in 3 points shy.
Yeah.
I came out 3 points shy. So nice job, Carey. He led all of us in the fast lane. And we will shoot Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers at some point because they got it coming to them.
Sure. I don't mind.
Yeah. We got a couple of quick what's trending because we do got to get to Chris Zimmerman of the Blues coming up at 4:30.
We mentioned this earlier. I wanted to get back into it. Jameis Winston, this is what he had to say after the team collectively decided to go against their head coach and take a knee at the 1 yard line. They decided to just run the football, get another touchdown, because why not? This is what Jameis Winston had to say on the matter after the game.
Well, I apologize to DA because the play was victory. But I also explained to DA that it was a team decision. And I think when you have the team morale, and I asked the guys, I said, guys, like, what do you want to do? We know how much Jamal means to this team, and I understood from DA's perspective. I give him that. But DA didn't condone that at all. You know, he didn't. However, we decided as a team to do it, and you have that opportunity. We just had that opportunity, and we decided.
So, Carey, let me ask you a question here, because this is fascinating to me. And it's a sport that loved playing but never had the opportunity to play at any kind of a high level. So the coach calls victory formation, which is just to kneel down and kill the clock. We're done. So how does a team collectively agree that they're going to say, no, thank you, punch it in the end zone, and what's the repercussions for that?
I think he meant the offense that was on the field collectively.
But
all
that's what
11
I'm saying.
men.
You get into the huddle, hey boys, victory formation. Say no, forget that.
Let's score.
But the coach said this. No, I don't care. Let's score.
It's like an audible. I don't have an
they
issue
saw
with
something in the victory formation.
Something in the formation that felt like it was not a good play to call at that time. He changed it at the line of scrimmage and punched it on in.
So what are the repercussions for that?
I don't think there's anything. I mean,
I know it's the last game of the season, last play of the season, pretty much.
It don't matter. It's
I don't think it matters. I mean, you could be frustrated. Obviously, Arthur Smith was very frustrated. He should have been more frustrated with the 41 points that they gave up all throughout the game, as opposed to the interception that was taken down to the 1 yard.
His offense scored.
He was just frustrated. There's, I get it, because if a play is called, like I had a situation, we were getting our butts kicked against the team, and the coach actually called a timeout and threw the ball deep. We were down by 30. It was 4 seconds left in the game. Now, I think I want to choke you, sir. Don't do that. But if you could tell it was victory formation, and the team decided to run the ball in, I don't think that there's any repercussions for Jameis Winston. I don't think there's any repercussions for anyone on that offensive line or on that offense in general. They made a decision. Everyone wasn't going to agree with it, and they got a young man a touchdown.
I mean, I was okay with it. I'm always of the belief to play to the end.
Yeah.
Play to the end. Whatever.
It can be frustrating. Now, you should
play better.
You probably should take a knee, but it is what it is.
I had no problem with it. You stop them. Stop them.
Yeah.
Shove the offensive line back. Stop James.
Or
Stop
just
Williams.
give in like you did for the other 41 points.
That's what happened. But for Arthur Smith to go streaking across the field and screaming at Dennis Allen and all that,
he was so
should be embarrassed of himself.
He was so crazy.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
The day after it happened, where it was the refs and the Tyreek Hill, or not the Tyreek Hill, excuse me, the
MVS.
Kadarius Toney lineup. And I said, he's not ticked at the refs. He's ticked at his offense. He's ticked at him. He's frustrated, right? Like, that was clearly Smith being frustrated, knowing what we know now. He was probably going to get fired. But that was embarrassing. You went out that way?
Let me tell you something.
Really?
He's going to get fired if they lost 41-17 or if they lost 48-17.
As well he should.
Didn't matter.
You, sir, cannot coach my team.
You must go, sir.
You're out. All right, Chris Zimmerman, we're going to talk to him about the city of St. Louis, not just losing the bid when it comes to the World Juniors, but what's next, what could be done, and some, potentially some exciting things coming up for some young Blues players and the franchise overall. Chris Zimmerman next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, as fun as this NFL season has been, and as fun as this last weekend was for football games, there is nothing quite like the NFL Super Wildcard Weekend. I love it. You got games all over the place. You got teams that maybe should or shouldn't be in it. You got the favorites. I just love it. You got 6 games in 3 days. For these teams, it's win or go home. It's always the most important part of it. And you'll always have a spot in the playoffs with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Yep, and FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up the W. You can do the parlay, the live same-game parlays. And if you want to follow my picks, just go to FanDuel right now. New customers to get started with a $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet.
Yeah, so just visit FanDuel.com/fast to join today. Again, FanDuel.com/fast. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues took down the Hurricanes this weekend, a 2-1 final, a shootout winner. They'll be back in action to take on the Florida Panthers tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Coming up next, we'll talk with Chris Zimmerman, Blues president and CEO of business operations. He'll join the show coming up next, so stay tuned. Also tonight, Michigan-Washington for the national championship. We'll have all the coverage for you right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starting at 5:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We're joined by Chris Zimmerman, the president and CEO of business operations for your St. Louis Blues. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Chris, the World Junior Championship, I think this year was obviously very exciting, and I know that here in St. Louis, there was an attempt to get a bid for the, not the next year, but the following year. Unfortunately, the bid went to the state of Minnesota up there. In your opinion, why does a place like Minnesota get favored over St. Louis at this point?
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I mean, the World Juniors was a fantastic event for the Blues this year. We had 6 players in it. You got to see groups of players that are obviously both the next generation for our club as well as really for the league. And so we were excited about the bid. It's a fantastic event. Why Minnesota? I think a couple things. The Canadian fans play a really important role in generating attendance at U.S.-held World Junior Championships, and Minnesota's just closer to the border. And so I think geography mattered and played part of a role. And, I think there also there's a significant state funding component that the state of Minnesota has in place to help attract sports events. That probably also played a little bit of a role.
Chris, what other challenges would a city like St. Louis have as far as geographically? Because it's historically, they keep it close to the border, like you said. So the Canadian people, they travel well. They'll cross the border into the States. But, what other challenges is it to be a city like St. Louis and being so south?
Well, I don't think there are many other challenges, quite honestly, anymore, Jamie. If you look at what we've done in terms of establishing ourselves as a great hockey town, both obviously with the number of players we're developing, the growth of hockey here, as well as how we've done when we've attracted the best events, whether it was the Winter Classic, followed by obviously both the Stanley Cup Finals as well as the NHL All-Star Game. We've proven that we can put on events and draw hockey crowds as well as any place. And so I think we're past the geography thing largely. And, we've got a great set of events coming up. Some of them are happening out at Centene, the ACHA, which is the College Club Hockey National Championships. That's happening in March, followed by an NCAA men's regional that will precede us hosting the Frozen Four again next year. So if anybody's asking, we're on the map, and I think everybody realizes that now.
Chris, how much of a difference has it been here in the last handful of years to attract these events? Because at one time, let's be honest, these events just weren't coming to St. Louis, and now hockey is growing so fast in this area, but also, some of the facilities that we're able to provide at the same time, I mean, it's really sped things up, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, without the facilities, you're just not in the game. And, I think the building of the Centene Community Ice Center gives us a facility that, quite honestly, is without question the top facility in the Midwest and really one of the top few in the country. And so whether it's USA Hockey bringing their Disabled Hockey Festival here, obviously the NCAA events now, we've got a very special facility there. And then at Enterprise Center, the work we've done to really elevate the guest and fan experience, we've done a really good job. We have to stay at it, though, because, as you know, there are new shiny buildings being built throughout the country. And, we're just going to have to stay after it because it's a very competitive landscape winning these major national sporting events and certainly hockey events.
Chris, that's what I was going to ask you. What are the chances that St. Louis does get the bid in the future?
That's a tough one to answer, the chances. I think what we're doing, we just have to keep after what we're doing, which is every time we get a chance on the national or international stage that we show up the way we have, that our fans respond, that our facilities operate in a world-class way. So I'm optimistic that we're just going to keep moving forward in terms of really essentially putting ourselves on the map for all major events. I think the other side of it is the financial side, and the more and more states, whether it's Minnesota, Nevada, Texas, Tennessee, sports play a big part in driving economic activity. And, we are, through our St. Louis Sports Commission, working certainly at the state level, and we'll continue to work at the city and county level to help, if you will, government understand the value and the return that you can get on essentially sports tourism.
Chris, jumping back into the hockey side of things here a little bit and going back to the World Junior Championship, I mean, it's got to be really, really exciting for the Blues franchise to look at these prospects that, I mean, they blew everybody else out of the water when it comes to total points scored, 44 points as a group, 22 goals, 22 assists. Doug Armstrong and his staff did a fantastic job in drafting these players, but you guys have to be excited.
Well, I think, Jame, this is now my 10th season with the club. Certainly, by far, the most exciting group of prospects that we've ever had. And, it's about development. It's about the right timing. But, yes, I think the representation that people saw of the Blues, future prospects is really encouraging, as well as, what's happening down in Springfield. We've got, some strong prospects there as well. So, we are, we're in that place where we're fighting the now. And obviously, the last couple of weeks, the team is really playing strong. But when you look out at the future, it's quite honestly, I'll put it this way. It's more promising than it's been certainly in the last 15 years or so.
Yeah, it sure is exciting. And I'm going to go back into the past a little bit. And the Blues Hall of Fame, the dinner and the ceremony, all that is right around the corner. This is a brand new event for the Blues in the city of St. Louis. What fun things can we plan on seeing this year, as last year was such a spectacular event?
Yeah, well, we're excited about the Hall of Fame weekend. On the 19th of January, we'll have the induction ceremony dinner down at the Missouri Athletic Club. I'm happy to say that that's sold out. It's a really great event, but there's also Bernie Federico, who I believe is going to make an announcement in terms of how we're going to partner with KMOV to share that with our fans. So that's an exciting part of the weekend. Obviously, we play the Capitals the next night, so there'll be a great ceremony there. And, we're honoring Mike Liut. We're honoring Pavel Dimitre, as well as Big Walt, Tikachuk. So that's a very special lineup of inductees that we're adding to last year's group.
That's great news. A lot of exciting stuff surrounding your club right now, Chris, and we appreciate you sharing some of the insights that you have, and you're looking ahead to some of the great events that you have in St. Louis and coming up at Centene. So thanks for joining us today in the Fast Line.
Thanks, guys. A big week ahead. A lot of exciting hockey.
No doubt. Starting tomorrow night against the Panthers. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
All right, that's Chris Zimmerman, President and CEO of Business Operations for the St. Louis Blues. A lot of great events, and as you had mentioned, and as Chris mentioned, he had quite the representative, when it came to the World Juniors.
Yeah, there were
studs all over.
You had 7 guys there, and other teams, there are 3 other teams that had 7 players there, and the total points, I don't have it right in front of me right now, but the total points for Blues prospects was 44, and I think the closest after that for a group of 7 was 28 points.
Wow.
Like, it was a massive difference. Mm-hmm. And then Jimmy Snuggerud goes back to Minnesota, and he fires a laser top shelf right away as soon as he gets back there.
Yeah.
So, and today Doug Armstrong had talked to the media about some of these guys, and Jimmy Snuggerud basically saying, look, if this guy's ready to go come the end of the season and we're in a spot where we could use him, he could see him getting an opportunity with the big club. So all that's very exciting. And another part of it, too, the sidebar to all this, guys, is, like, I've been here a long time. I've been here since 1993, and the Blues practice facility in 1993 was the old Brentwood Arena. Nothing wrong with the rink. It was gritty. It was great. It was awesome, but it was nothing like you have now. Mm-hmm. And to see the hockey scene in St. Louis grow the way it has in that amount of time is incredible, to where we're talking about ACHA championships coming here, a World Junior bid. We've had the national women's team play against the Canadian national women's team here at Centene Community Ice Center. There's a lot of stuff happening now that, honestly, I don't know if anybody thought way back when this would even possible.
Yeah, no kidding. That's Jamie Rivers. That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We'll take an early look at the NFL playoffs next on 101 ESPN.
All right, Happy New Year, and it is always stressful if you're looking to sell your home. Now we're kind of creeping out of the holidays, and maybe you waited, and now you're not sure if you should list your home. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. All you have to do is call Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and there's a couple of reasons why. Gloria has amazing options for you, the seller, and the one option that I love is guaranteed sales. Who wouldn't love guaranteed sales? All that is Gloria Lou sits down with you and determines what to sell your home for, the price of the the home. And then she sells your home for that price, or she buys it herself, and she guarantees all that in handwriting. And why is she so confident? Because Gloria Lou already has the buyers. She's got thousands of ready buyers in her exclusive database. These buyers create, well, more views for your home, maybe multiple offers, which equal hopefully more money for you, and sometimes get you to the closing table even faster because people want to buy the house that quickly. And all of that is because you chose Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. So please give her a call and tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the purchase price and possession date.
Before we take an early look at the NFL playoffs here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, we've got two more slots available for our Bet the Board throughout the course of the month of January. So we welcome on Chuck. Chuck, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. How you doing today?
Hey, how are we doing today, fellas?
Doing great, man. So you're down to two options now. You pick third. Jamie's off the board. Marsh is off the board. Would you like Carey Davis or would you like me for the rest of the month for Bet the Board?
This is the two hard ones I wanted to pick from too.
Good.
Well, you know, we got Carey. He played with my guy Najee Davenport.
Yeah.
Go.
My
How
guy.
about some Packers, guys?
How about it?
Yeah.
I'm not too mad at
Anthony's new child.
what they're doing over there.
I was right.
Jordan Love is pretty good.
I was right about Jordan Love. I was right about the Green Bay Packers.
No, you weren't.
Did you?
What do you mean, no, I wasn't?
Did you?
He picked him to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't.
I
Sorry,
gotta
Chuck.
say, though, I got to go with Stalters, though. He believed in the Packers from the very beginning.
That's right, Chuck.
So, go with Stalters.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you having my back when these guys didn't. You remembered that I picked the Packers. Hey, you know what? Let's get this done, Chuck.
Anthony, let's make it happen. All right?
Yes. All right. Hey, good luck the rest of the month here. You'll hear the first pick coming up in about 20 minutes or so. So thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
Can I give a big shout out to my buddies listening?
Of course.
My buddy's mom's getting married here in a few months. But congratulations, moms.
Well, congrats. Are you in the wedding?
I think so.
You don't know yet.
I don't know. I haven't came yet.
Hey, if he doesn't pick you, we'll embarrass him on the radio. All right.
I appreciate that.
There you go. All right, Chuck. Thanks for playing. We'll talk to you.
All right, see you, fellas.
There you go. So, Carey, you're gonna meet your person coming up here.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's okay.
And you won our Fast Lane Pick'em Challenge.
Best for last, Carey.
That's right. Best for last.
Yeah.
You don't get an option. You got me.
This isn't football only, though.
Nope. It's whatever you want.
Whatever you want it to be, baby.
It's whatever you want. All right. Speaking of football, the NFL matchups for the Wild Card weekend have been set. Marsh had mentioned this earlier in the show. Completely agree with him. The matchups are outstanding. They start off with the Browns and Texans, Dolphins and Chiefs on Saturday. Then moving to Sunday, the first game is Carey's Steelers versus the Bills in Buffalo. Chuck's Packers in Dallas. And then you got Matthew Stafford and the Rams heading back to Detroit.
I love the stories.
It's perfect.
That. Detroit, first time in 30 years winning the division. They
Hosting the game.
They get to host the game. They brought the banner down. Like it's I think that's really cool for the Detroit Lions and for Matthew Stafford to take part in that game when it's the first one and hit forever.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Monday night, Eagles and Bucks. Browns and Texans. First blush. I like Houston in that game.
I do too.
Cleveland's been a different team on the road this year than they have been at home.
Joe Flacco, baby. You don't bet against Joe Flacco. Carey always says, don't bet against Flacco.
Never actually said that.
Maybe you did.
We'll go back and take a listen.
We'll check the tape.
Yeah.
Never quite said that.
I believed you, too.
And I remembered Detroit being fired up. Houston's got to be fired up. Nobody in the world expected the Texans to be where they are right now. They had a win on Saturday night in Indy. They did. They had to have Tennessee beat Jacksonville. They did. And now Houston's hosting a playoff game. And I think they get past round one here. I like the Browns against Jacksonville. I like them less against Houston.
I think Houston has done a great job. Again, I think D'Amico Ryan's his coach of the year. And obviously C.J. Stroud is going to be offensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
And so I'm excited about watching C.J. Stroud. I don't feel like he's a rookie quarterback. He has so much poise. The throw he made on the sideline, I think we were talking about earlier to Nico Collins, under pressure, people in his face, and still having the composure to get the ball, keep your eyes downfield, and make that big play. He does not play like a rookie and has not really from the first game of the year where he just kind of took off, and they've done such an outstanding job. And to win the division, they were terrible last year. They weren't good, and they won the division. I'm really excited about what the Houston Texans team has.
Chiefs and Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are done. They're done.
I don't think so.
You don't like the Chiefs.
I get it. He's all over.
You don't like KC because they drop too many passes. The defense
matters.
The defense plays. Miami could have hosted a game. They could have hosted a game, Carey. Now they're going to Arrowhead where it's supposed to be 0 degrees. They're done. They're banged up. They're done.
Going back against his former team, they played obviously earlier this season, but they were playing in Germany
and lost.
They lost, but I just think that Kansas City Chiefs team that played in Germany against this Dolphins team is different. Just watching them play, not play consistently. Now, defensively, they do an outstanding job. Snead has done an outstanding job. They have all done a really good job on the defensive side. Spagnuolo, for as terrible as he was as a head coach, he is a really good defensive coordinator. He's doing an outstanding job with that defense. But I just feel like this offense of Miami and what they've done all season long and the inability to catch the ball by the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Chiefs could be in for a dogfight. It's going to be a good game.
Well, we have all week to look at these other matchups. We're up against it. We do have the College National Championship tonight between Washington and Michigan. Pregame starting at 5:30. It's an hour-long pregame, and kickoff is set for 6:30 tonight. You can hear it all on 101 ESPN. Congratulations to Brady from Columbia, Illinois. He won the first set of tickets that we gave away for Billy Joel and Sting. He answered the question correctly, which was, Sting, who was he the front man for? What band? Until they broke up in 1986. Correct answer is
The Police.
That's correct. A layup for our guy Brady, who won. Congratulations. We'll have more tickets to give away throughout the course of the week here in the Fast Lane. What's our national championship prediction? Michigan or Washington? That's next on 101 ESPN.
gentlemen, listen up. If you are not feeling quite like yourself and you're looking for the new year, new you, all this stuff, you're tired and you can't figure out why, that maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds around. Maybe it's not just the holiday. Maybe it's just because you're low in testosterone. Maybe you're just getting older and your body's not quite doing the same things it used to. Head over to Mentality. They are the best in the business. They have done wonders for myself and Anthony, for you as well. The process is so easy. Tell everybody about it.
Well, you sit down with their experts and you tell them basically what's going on, what brought you in. Maybe, like Jamie said, you're feeling low on energy. Maybe you feel unmotivated. Maybe you just want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to feel at your best, especially for 2024. You want to live with intention. You want to live with purpose, right? You want to get back into the gym. Well, do so the right way. Head down to Mentality. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in. They'll go over the process with you. The program is designed to fit what you need, and then you go from there. But it's all going to be done safe and properly. And Jamie, when you're all said and done, you get rolling on it, you're going to feel fantastic.
Yeah, you feel great. It's awesome. And the team over there, I call it a team because that's what it feels like, is everybody's there to help you, and the people that go in we're all part of the same team. And it's awesome. So please take a moment, stop by either location. When you do stop in, please tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. They love to hear that, and they might hook you up with a little something, just saying. So please get in there and say hi. If nothing else, at least visit them online at lowtusa.com. That's Mentality at lowtusa.com.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Before we get to our predictions for the College Football National Championship, which is tonight, and you can listen to it here on 101 ESPN, Washington and Michigan, we welcome on Wes, who's the last contestant for Bet the Board in the month of January. And Wes, congratulations. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. You're going to be paired with Carey.
Sounds good. I'm a U of I alum. Didn't go to the main campus, but I'm proud to be with Carey.
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
It all works out. In the words of Matt Hasselbeck, we'll take the ball and we're going to score.
Oh. Exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It did not work. We're going to make it work.
He got picked.
We'll make it work.
We're going to make it right for old Matt Hasselbeck.
There
Wes,
you go.
you and I, we got it.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. Wes, thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
All right, so lone Marlins fan chose Jamie. Tim chose Marsh. Chuck chose me. And then Wes and Carey got paired up there at the end.
Wes chose me, too.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. He would have, obviously, because he's an Illinois fan. And yeah, also a Matt Hasselbeck fan. All right, Jamie.
Yeah.
How do you see tonight's game playing out? Are you still with Michigan?
I'm all over the Michigan train. I look at this team, and there's so much to like about this team. You start with the leadership of Jim Harbaugh and his coaching staff. People forget. I don't think they forget because it's prominent, but I kind of overlooked it. Let's say that Jim Harbaugh missed a bunch of games this year, and the coaching staff still was unfazed. The team was unfazed, and the coaching staff, whoever had to step up or step in, they got victories, and they got big victories. And then Jim Harbaugh back in the mix. Obviously, I don't think it was a secret that they didn't really want to play Alabama.
Right.
It weren't like, oh, yeah, we got Alabama. It was more like, all right, you got Alabama.
This
Great.
sucks.
And then they end up in an absolute dogfight with Alabama and come out on top. And I feel like that was their rite of passage almost at that point. I don't see them steamrolling Washington. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. But I've got Michigan in this one.
I'm going Michigan as well. I'm excited about tonight's game. I think, I think the committee got the best two teams that were available to play in this game. And that's all you can ask for is the best two teams. And right now, Washington is playing extremely well. Michigan is playing extremely well. To Jamie's point, the fact that Jim Harbaugh missed 6 games, I believe, during the season.
3-3.
3 to start the season, 3 to end the season. They have just continued to play well and do their job. And so, I got a 27-21 victory for Michigan.
Ooh.
Oh, you took a field goal away from Washington, huh? Because you were saying 27-24.
I did. I didn't like it.
Changed his mind. Saw the weather conditions inside that dome.
little breezy in
Fair
there.
enough.
I probably missed wide left.
I see what you did there with Drew Brees and New Orleans, and look at you. Marsh, Washington, Michigan. We got 2 Michigans thus far.
Man, I really want to go with Washington strictly because I do not like Michigan. But unfortunately, when do I ever get things that I want to have happen, right?
All the time.
No, actually not. So I'm going to roll with Michigan tonight. Maybe I'll get that reverse jinx.
I'm going to go Washington outright.
Oh.
I think Washington pulls off the upset tonight.
Really?
I do.
Look at Anthony.
Michael Penix Jr. is having one of those
salmon
years.
swimming upstream over here.
Jamie, every time you've gone against Washington, Washington has done what?
Well, who says I went against them? I said I doubted them. I didn't bet against them.
I went against them twice.
And Anthony, to your point,
happened?
they've won.
That was against Oregon. They won both of those. They were a 10-point underdog against Oregon the second time around.
And trucked them.
They did.
I was on Oregon, too.
Yeah, surprised.
It took me that game to kind of wake up here with Washington. Yeah. Washington's having one of those seasons that they have found different ways to win. Michigan wins in one way. They play defense, and they do the sleight of hand crap on offense. Kind of. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And it worked against Penn State because Penn State can't throw the ball forward. And it worked against Ohio State because Ohio State had one player offensively, Marvin Harrison Jr. And it worked against the other teams in the Big Ten, most of which stunk. It worked against Iowa because Iowa literally doesn't have an offense.
They put 11 guys out there.
They put 11 guys out there. I don't think any of them are on scholarship. And they try to win every game with their defense and their special teams.
Yeah, guys.
The punter was the best player on Iowa all season long.
That's a heck of a play.
These are the teams that Michigan beat. And, of course, Alabama. With all due respect. Alabama, that was not the best Alabama team that Nick Saban has ever had. It's not even close. And Alabama had Michigan seemingly dead to rights for most of the second half.
But everyone told me that the SEC team is always better than
Well, it wasn't last
else.
week. Or it was for most of that game. And then Alabama fell apart in the end. Washington is going to test this defense like it hasn't been tested yet. And I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit better than what we think. And I think Penix is going to make more than enough plays in this passing game. He's going to keep throwing the ball deep. If they run into a bunch of 3-and-outs, that could be problematic. But Washington has also come up with some pretty good defensive efforts despite the numbers not being there. So give me Washington. They're 5-0 or 6-0, I think, when it comes to being an underdog. Under DeBoer, they've done great in these situations before. Everybody's doubted them. I think they win outright.
The injury to Dylan Johnson, running back for UW Washington, is going to be a key thing to watch tonight. If he's unhealthy, he's going to give it a try. But the way that he came off of the field that last play against Texas let me know everything I needed to know. His foot is in pain. And so all it takes is someone to, you know how many times a 300-pounder has stepped on my foot? It doesn't feel great. Yeah, a 300-pounder step on your foot, try to cut or plant the wrong way. Anything is possible to cause pain to that, so keep an eye on him. If he's not able to play, that's going to it's going to slow Washington down tremendously.
I do think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be back and forth. Not back and forth from a shootout standpoint, but I think we might see kind of a closer first half, low scoring. Maybe the second half picks up a little bit, but I think both teams wind up in the 20s, and that's it. I do not see.
Well, it's not going to be high scoring.
I don't
Michigan
think so.
hasn't had a high scoring game all year against.
Right.
Like, nobody's putting up big points.
Well, that's the other thing against Michigan. Michigan does not care about scoring at will.
Yeah.
They care about scoring. Give me one more point than the opposition. And it's been that way since week one of this college season. And they've won every game. Some games have been close. Some games have been, even against non-conference foes that they should win by 50-plus points. They didn't. They've just kind of controlled games all season long. What happens if they can't control one of these games? What happens when they can't control this game against Washington? And what happens if Washington gets a lead? Because this Michigan offense is not built to come back.
I don't think that'll be the case. I mean, Michigan does not give, to Jame's point, they don't give up a lot of points. And so, again, if you can limit, especially if Washington becomes one-dimensional, which I think going into the game they already are.
It's a pretty good dimension.
It is, but when it's only one, it's a lot easier to defend than having a couple of ways to beat you. So if they are one-dimensional and can only pass the football, I think it's going to be a long day for Washington.
All right, there you go. So Marsh, Jame, and Carey are all on Michigan. I took Washington to pull off the upset. We're going to do Bet the Board next. First night of Bet the Board. And we'll wrap up the show because we got the pregame for the national championship coming up at 5:30. That's all next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jame, when it comes to finding that perfect person to work with, when you have a loan that you need for maybe a home, maybe you are a veteran, you want to know what your options are for VA loans, maybe you're somebody that is staring at a situation where you don't know if now is a good time to refi, well, we've got a guy for you, and it's Stewie.
Yeah, he is the best in the business. And the one thing about Stewie is he's always got great information. And no matter what your situation is, he's going to be there for you, and he's going to guide you the right way, or he's got a program for you, or he'll create a program so that whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, he can get you, whether it's a closing table, whether it's refinancing, consolidating all your debt, whatever it is, he's going to take care of you. He's our guy, and he needs to become your guy. And it's real easy. Just call his cell phone number, 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
Call, text, day, night, weekend, snowing outside, rain. It doesn't matter. Stewie will battle all the elements just for you. And if you can't remember that number, what can you do?
You can always Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Okay, tell me my future. Ah, yes. What's in store for 24? There is something very green.
An emerald?
No, it's cash. $29.
Of course. Every vehicle, $29 down at Frank Leda Mitsubishi in the Automotive Outlet in Bridgeton.
Hey, who's the fortune teller here?
Sorry.
Every vehicle is just $29 down. $29.
And if you bring home $350 a week, you could get up to $25,000 in credit.
25 grand with just $29.
At Frank Leda Mitsubishi.
Now we will look. Holy camole!
What?
New Outlander SUVs with 0% financing. 0%.
Yeah, third row seating, 3 climate zones. Where are you going? Oh, I know. Frank Leda Mitsubishi.
Mister, you got a future in the future business.
In the Automotive Outlet in Bridgeton.
YesLita.com.
YesLita.com. New 23 Outlander, 29.5, 29 down, $530 a month for 60 months at 2.99% APR plus tax tag title to qualified buyers.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow night taking on the Florida Panthers. Pregame starting at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Look to tack on another win as they defeated the Carolina Hurricanes over the weekend by a final score of 2-1 in a shootout. Once again, Blues Panthers tomorrow night. Pregame at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We talked earlier today with Blues president and CEO of business operations, Chris Zimmerman. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tonight we have the national championship game. Michigan taking on Washington. All that coverage will come your way right here in less than 15 minutes starting at 5:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Talked a little Blues, talked to Chris Zimmerman of the Blues, talked a little Cardinals. We'll get into more Cardinals maybe tomorrow, but a lot of NFL and college football talk as we approach kickoff for the national championship. Pregame from 5:30 to 6:30 right here on 101 ESPN.
That's soon.
Yeah, that's soon. It's right.
Terrible.
An hour pregame coming up in about 15 minutes or so. And, of course, we'll have the game for you, too. But without further ado,
bet the board.
Whose voice was that? Was that Ryder?
That's Ryder.
4 picks for your friends. Nice. It's time to bet the board with the Fast Lane.
All right, so we used to do this. We decided to bring it back. Carey, I think you should have first pick here.
All right, so my partner is Wes, and we're going to go with the L.A. Clippers laying 5.5.
Yes. They're a 5.5 point favorite.
Was it 5? I thought it was 6.
The
5.5.
Phoenix Suns.
Oh.
The game's tonight in L.A.
At home.
Why do you like it? Why do you like the old clip job?
The Clippers have figured some things out. James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Everyone thought that this was going to be, and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard all being healthy. They're a really good team. They figured some things out, and I like the Clippers. I like what they're doing right now.
All right.
My Golden State Warriors stink, so I wouldn't pick them for anything.
Ouch.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Sorry, man.
It's hard.
Jame.
It's hard
yeah.
Your pick.
Well, I'm going I was looking at a couple of basketball games, too. Then I changed my mind quickly. I'm going with the NHL tonight. Vancouver Canucks They are still on the road. They're heading into Madison Square Garden to play against the New York Rangers. The Canucks are plus 124 in this game, but I like them. I think the Canucks go in there and lay a pounding on the Rangers tonight.
All right.
They're going to beat them by at least a goal.
A pounding is relative.
Yeah.
All right. Marsh?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bruins against the Avalanche. First period total goals over 1.5 at minus 122. I see both these teams starting out fast. The other day, the Florida Panthers put up 3 goals in 1 period against the Avalanche that first period. So just need 2 goals. Doesn't matter which team.
In the
just
first
2
period.
goals in the first period.
Okay, so over 1.5. I just said that Washington was going to win tonight's national championship game outright, so I'll gladly take the 5.5, put it in my back pocket. Michigan wins by 3. Hell, they can win by 4. They can win by 5. I don't care. Washington plus 5.5 in the national championship game. I just said all the reasons why. I think that this Washington offense, I realize that this Michigan defense is excellent. I get it. Washington's got a big offensive line. They can protect Penix. Hopefully Dylan Johnson is somewhat okay. If he plays, hopefully he's effective, and the running game can be there. If not, Michael Penix Jr. has had one of those seasons where I'm not going to doubt him. This kind of feels a little bit like the Clemson-Bama game when Clemson shocked Alabama. Yeah. And Alabama was the one that had the better defense, and you were worried about the pass rush and all. And then Clemson, all they did was chuck the ball over the yard. Now, Michigan's secondary is better than that Alabama secondary, but it kind of has that feel to me in the national championship. But it won't be a blowout like it was that night. But nonetheless, Washington plus 5.5. All right, what do we got for criticisms and compliments there, Marsh?
Let's just go to our 3 stars.
Oh, yeah. Jamie, we're doing the 3-star thing.
How's that?
Exactly.
This is how crap happens around here. I go away for a day.
Explain
and
to
I get
him.
Waffle House, and now I get 3 stars.
Yeah.
So what happened was we were talking hockey, and our friend Anthony Stalter said he doesn't like the fact that the NHL does 3 stars after every single game. He feels like it's too much.
Oh, sorry, the NFL doesn't hand out multiple game balls.
So we decided.
They don't broadcast it. Don't make a big deal. It's on ESPN.com.
We decided to have 3 stars after every show.
Lame.
We're going to have 3 stars after every show.
That's interesting. 3 stars from the show?
From
our show?
Every day.
Doesn't it feel, Jamie, doesn't it feel a little awkward?
Yeah, because there's 4 of us. There's not.
Well, no.
There's not 40.
No,
there's 4.
There's a chance that none of us are the 3 stars.
Yeah. Last week, like, what was it? John Foselak got a star.
Yeah, John Foselak got a star.
I'm lost.
Anthony didn't get any last week.
I didn't get any last week.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
surprising.
hoping for my first one today, Jamie.
Are you guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Yep.
We are.
Yeah, let's
All right. Our 3rd star of the day. Number 6, Jamie Rivers. He returns to the show.
There you go, Jamie.
3rd star.
3rd star. It's better than no stars. Our 2nd star of the day is Jameis Winston in his post-game interview.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. And a late addition here, 1st star of the day is Mike Ryder's voiceover for Bet the Board.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mike. Okay,
That's
so there
true.
you go. So there you have it, Jamie.
The 314 says 1st star goes to Anthony. Sorry, you're not in charge.
You just said that to him?
Yeah.
Our texter?
Yep.
On the text line,
he wanted you
which is
to-
the gospel, right?
He wanted you to be the
One
first
of
star.
one of our sources, the Air Comfort Service text line.
Yeah, but if you don't get the stars in on time, they don't count.
Yep.
You know? That's actually a thing.
I appreciate that.
That's actually a thing.
Well, it's a big deal, you know? I mean,
It is a big deal.
Don't wanna
Anthony.
screw it up.
You know what? Sometimes when you get that 1st star is a big deal. I can tell you that much.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I do. I think that's
One
great.
day.
One day.
We'll
Keep working at it.
make it happen.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sometimes
It's going to be excited.
Anthony's takes on certain things in life are just like, I don't get it.
Spot on.
No.
Incredible. Thought-provoking.
No, really disturbing. Like, useless, disturbing. Like,
Interesting.
the fact that you're mad about 3 stars in the NHL.
He was bothered.
I'm not mad about it.
He was
irate.
He was just confused by the the need of a star for a 3 at that for every single game.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of guys on the ice, first of all.
It just seems like orange slices. You know? It's got an orange slice feel.
So what's your excuse?
What's wrong with orange slices?
But hang on. Pause. What's your excuse then for like 5 game balls that get handed out in an NFL game? We got the punter. He had a great game ball. You get what? Okay, here you go. Hey, by the way, we got a big return from Joey over here. He got a game ball too.
First of all, Joey did have a
Carey
big return.
Davis, he had a big block out here. He'd get a game ball, Carey.
Yeah.
Keep going.
When you see it on Twitter, that's the only time you see that. It's not a thing. Like it is in the NHL. It's a thing in the NHL. You have to do it. It's part of every game. It could be 6-5, and it's like, we got to do these stars.
Okay, but you lose a game, too, a football game. You're handing out game balls. Here's a game ball because you sucked less than the guy beside you.
How many game balls did Mike T hand out?
We didn't get any game balls. Unless you had like
it's not
8
a thing for every team.
Carey, nowadays, though, how many game balls are flying around?
Well, it depends on the organization.
That's
when you're
right.
a self-respected organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But at least, if nothing else, at least hockey's consistent. There's only 3.
Yeah.
Get with it, Anthony.
I am with it. We're doing it on the show now. We're doing it on the show.
You want to clear a camp without 3 stars?
You'll get on board.
Shame on
For
you.
Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, and for Andrew Marsh, of course. National Championship pregame now. See ya.